With this breaking news, President Trump just announced precision airstrikes in Somalia, marking his first military strikes of his second term in the White House. CNN's Elena Trine is in Florida, where the president is spending the weekend. So, Elena, what's behind this?
Well, that's right, Fred. We did hear from from President Donald Trump directly just moments ago, stating on his Truth Social website that he has ordered precision military airstrikes in Somalia. I want to read for you some of what he posted. He said, quote, "This morning I ordered precision military airstrikes on the senior ISIS attack planner and other terrorists he recruited and led in Somalia. These killers, who we found hiding in caves, threatened the United States and our allies. The strikes destroyed the caves they lived in and killed many terrorists without in any way harming civilians." Now, we also heard, Fred, from the new Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth. He confirmed that he had authorized these military airstrikes, and also that multiple people were killed in these strikes. This is what Hegseth said in a statement. He said, quote, "At President Trump's direction and in coordination with the federal government of Somalia, I authorized U.S. Africa Command to conduct coordinated airstrikes today, targeting ISIS Somalia operatives in the Golis Mountains." He went on to say, quote, "Our initial assessment is that multiple operatives were killed in the airstrikes and no civilians were harmed. This action further degrades ISIS's ability to plot and conduct terrorist attacks." It went on to discuss that strategy further. Now, I do want to be clear as well here, Fred.
Wait. You just edited the words of the President of the United States because you didn't want to say on air what specifically he said. You didn't want to say his message. You people are milquetoast. You're wondering why your ratings are in the toilet. It's because you do stupid stuff like that, knowing that most of us can see it and that we'll probably end up reporting it. See, today, of all days, I was going to begin calling today FAFO Saturday. And we probably could call most days FAFO Monday and FAFO Tuesday. The way things are going right now, it is seriously F around and you're going to find out. So with everything else Trump has been doing, with everything else that these people are being deluged with, now he decides to light up Somalia. Let me show you what he actually said. "This morning I ordered precision military airstrikes on the senior ISIS attack planner and other terrorists he recruited and led in Somalia. These killers, who we found hiding in caves, threatened the United States and our allies. The strikes destroyed the caves they live in and killed many terrorists without any way harming civilians. Our military has targeted this ISIS attack planner for years, but Biden and his cronies wouldn't act quickly enough to get the job done." CNN forgot that part, and they forgot this part. I did it. The message to ISIS, which is to me the most important part of this, the message to ISIS and all others who would attack Americans is that we will find you and we will kill you. They probably won't like it either. They're like CNN. They'll probably say, "Hey, Bear, you can't say that. The president said it." You're looking at it in blue and white, navy blue and white. Those were the words the President of the United States used. And he didn't mince words, and he wanted his message to be out there loud and clear. So what's the message to you guys? The message to you guys is, even when they show stuff that the president said on television, understand they even lie then. They edit out what he actually said. To me, that's journalist malpractice. You can actually see what the words this man said. "We will find you and we will kill you," in big capitalized letters. But CNN chose not to report the news. They decided to edit the news for their own benefit, of course. for the benefit of, the people who run around might get their fees all hurt. But this message was needed, and it was very, very, very much needed, and it had to be said, and you idiots diluted what he had to say, and it's going to be said again when you see the next video that's coming up. You know the response is coming. It's just a matter of time. He's on the golf course right now down here at Mar-a-Lago in Palm Beach. But when he sees this, or somebody probably has already walked up and said, hey, listen, well, let's finish because I don't want to get ahead of myself.
That the president did also attack the Biden administration and the former president for what he argued was not doing enough with these similar types of strikes in Somalia. But we do know that these types of strikes are actually pretty routine, particularly those targeting Somalia. We know that during the Biden administration, they carried out several airstrikes and military strikes, both on ISIS, but also al-Shabaab terrorists during his...
Hurry up, we got to protect Biden. We got to protect the Democrats. We got to make sure everybody knows that Trump attacked Biden. Why didn't you show it? Since it was an attack, we're supposed to just take your word for it. You didn't show it. We should probably add that, President Trump attacked Biden instead of just showing the actual post. That's why you people are losing. That's why you keep getting L's thrown in your face. You're liars. And you don't think we can check. Maybe your audience is too stupid. Maybe your audience at this point relies on you and they don't have the ability to do their research and verify. Every single video I do, I always tell you guys, hey, here's what I'm hearing. Here's what I'm seeing. Here, check this out. Now go verify yourself. And I'm so happy when I look in the X group and I see people are actually doing it. Hey, Barry, did you see this? Hey, Barry, you might have got this wrong. Hey, did you see it? I love it because that means people are engaged. Their audience must just be sitting on a log somewhere.
Term. I also wanted to note that the U.S. has really provided ongoing support to the Somali government ever since former President Joe Biden had approved a Pentagon request in 2022 to put more troops in the region to deal with the growing terrorist threat. So again, this is something we know that was pretty routine during the Biden administration. But of course, we are hearing from the president directly saying that he has authorized these strikes and that they were successful in taking out this ISIS attack planner and others that they deem to be a threat to the region and to the United States.
So, Elena, Elena, is this considered a continuation of an already established policy, since you mentioned these strikes were taking place during the Biden administration, and now this is the first of this new administration?
It's hard to say, Fred, because we are still learning more information. I did ask the White House if they had more details regarding the nature of this and what led the president to do this. And then also, of course, we saw him kind of celebrating the airstrikes and their success on social media. I think we're still learning more details. The White House told me they will provide more as they come, but this is all of the information they will be giving us at this.
On social media, she couldn't even utter the words Truth Social. And it's turned into a fluff piece about Biden. Well, I challenge you. I challenge anybody. I challenge anybody to go find any post anywhere where Biden or anybody of his ilk in that administration where they put something out in big letters, say, mess around and we'll kill you. If you touch an American, we will find you and we will kill you. I'll wait. Miss Lady on CNN, the weekend staff, go do your homework and tell me when you've heard that kind of language anytime in the last 4 years. By the way, let me know if you've seen Biden pose in a fedora in a pinstripe gangster suit with FAFO right here. So you guys aren't understanding when I say you guys. I'm not talking about you guys. I'm talking about those guys, those people in the media. They don't get it. They're slowly starting to wake up, but they really, really don't get it. Let's continue.
also just got our hands on a memo out of the Rio Grande Valley sector that actually says that, this is kind of crazy here, that the cartels authorize the use of weaponized drones, explosives against CBP personnel and U.S. law enforcement down there at the southern border. Now, they're actually being encouraged, of course, to remain cognizant and vigilant, but they're all...
Wait. This guy's dropping bombs in Somalia. This guy is posting pictures that say FAFO. He has declared the cartels in Mexico a terrorist organization. And you want to, Mr. Terrorist, Mr. Cartel, you want to let everybody know that you've authorized your nuts to use lethal force against Americans? What are you people thinking? I'm going to say it right now. If one single American even so much as has a toenail ripped off by anything you nuts do from the cartel, you're going to turn into vapor. He's not going to. Matter of fact, let me take a step back. You don't even have to hurt an American because you're not a country. So it's not like, you want to have diplomacy with the country. Hey, listen, let's talk. You're just a bunch of sand fleas out there tossing bombs at people, selling your fentanyl and drug. And you think that you're going to, quote, authorize your people to take on Americans? We're in a whole different category with these people. And you're telling me the president of Mexico hasn't said, whoa, hey, no, ixnay with that. Because maybe she's controlled by you people? But let me just be the first American to let you know this in case you haven't heard. Your terms are acceptable. Your terms are 100% acceptable. If you think you got it like that, watch what happens, because you will be the next definition. You'll be the next prize winner. You will step up and get the new medal for FAFO. It will be plastered all over your caskets if you decide as a cartel that you want to take on American soldiers. Good luck with that.
Also being encouraged to use their long arms, Blake. I have never seen this in a CBP memo before. They say, wear your ballistic gear, yes. But they're telling them, hey, have your long arms. Yes, they are saying, watch out for these weaponized drones. We've seen a lot of infighting with two different factions of the cartel down in Tamaulipas. That is on the south side of the border in the Rio Grande Valley. And they have like an all-out war happening between these cartel factions. So they are warning now that they might be using these weaponized drones against U.S. personnel on this side. So definitely cause for concern there.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow is right. Wow is an understatement. Those of you who are in the military, and probably even those you're not, are probably thinking to yourself right now, you're kidding me, right? You're kidding me that these cartels think they've got that kind of muscle, that they've got this kind of backing, that they're going to go ahead and shoot or use drones against American Border Patrol, ICE, soldiers, sheriffs. Yeah. You're kidding me. You're absolutely kidding me. I love what Jack Posobiec wrote. Elon said, ultimately, I doubt the cartels can be defeated without U.S. special operations. And Jack's like, that can be arranged. Okay. You want to be that stupid. You want to go there. We are in, I've never seen anything like this. The thumbnail that I used in today's show, I put this up, the Trump fire hose. And the reason why I use that as the thumbnail with an AI generation of Trump holding a fire hose is because it's literally like trying to get a sip of water out of a fire hose, as much as this man is putting out there and doing. He has defined flood the zone. He has defined FAFO. He's got everybody at this point in the media, those of us who are supporters, podcasters going, oh, what? It's nonstop. And you know, today was Saturday. I got the casual Friday weekend, Saturday weekend clothing on. And Robin's like, anything going on today? And she just started laughing. I'm like, it just doesn't stop. It just doesn't stop. Waiting for the tariffs to drop in Canada. And then just a whole bunch more came out. So settle in. I'm not going to keep you too long on the weekend, but you're going to be, if you haven't followed on X, most of the stuff that's going on, I've got an entire dashboard full of stuff. My computer's like choking. You guys are in for a lot of information. I mean, a lot of information in terms of what he's doing right now. So the cartels are infiltrated. That's possible. The cartels may indeed be from some other countries. Who knows? But I would not want to be the first person to take a shot. I would not want to be on that other side should that happen. Pete Hegseth, it ain't gonna wait. It's crazy. Where'd that say? If Joey gave the cartel drones, can't that be treason? I think there's so much opportunity for treason right now that it doesn't faze me. I had posted earlier on X, and I'm like, you know what? One of the problems is these people he didn't give out enough pardons. That's for sure. He did not give up enough pardons. There is so much going on. So let me talk to you about something. So right now, I'm not saying we are at war. We're not at war, but we're dropping bombs in Somalia. We got the cartels trying to flex some muscle, and this is not the guy to do this with whatsoever. So don't be surprised if in the next 24 hours, or you go to sleep tonight and wake up and find out that we bombed something in Mexico. I don't doubt it at all, and I'm pretty sure reading what Trump wrote, he's done with it. Don't try me, I ain't it. So in terms of military involvement and things of that nature, let's just wait. I'm not really going to delve into the plane crash stuff yet because everybody has got an idea and there's no concrete, information. This guy's got this video. I don't like doing that. I like listening to specifically what happens. And trust me, there's enough real information out there at this point, real information, that I don't have to go chasing stuff. And I'm telling you, don't go chasing stuff and look at the real stuff. And what I just showed you from CNN shows you specifically how you cannot trust the media. They will not show you what they don't want you to see, what they don't want their listeners or viewers to ever see. They don't want you to hear from a president who says, we will find you and we will kill you. I don't know why you wouldn't want to see that kind of testosterone bravado being talked by your president, whose one major first job is to protect Americans. There are probably hundreds of millions of people who would love to know, hey man, my president ain't taking crap from anybody. And he's not, eating Mapo and calling a lid at 11 o'clock in the afternoon. He's actually out there doing it. I've been talking to Democrats who aren't nuts, but actually just Democrats who just can't even imagine what they're seeing. And one of those things that they just can't imagine. And this is very, 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 we're gonna segue into the next section of the show here, because I'm going to spend some time on it because it's outrageous. It's outrageous how much money has been stolen by your government out of your pocket and out of my pocket. And this is something that I believe is party agnostic. I don't care whether you're a Republican or a Democrat. I'm not putting those nuts into the Democrat section. I'm putting the nuts way over there. Because I've talked to enough Democrats. I go to a facility called the Stretch Zone. And the Stretch Zone is just incredible. If you're working out and you feel tight, they'll bend you around like Gumby. I mean, literally, put your leg back. It feels so good. But while the guy's stretching me, He's a Democrat. He's seen the video, so he talks to me all the time. He goes, I can't even fathom what I'm seeing. I can't, it's incomprehensible. If you're around the table talking to your family and you start dropping some of the numbers we've been seeing and then seeing what our government's been doing, it's stunning. So let's talk about some things here right now. So DOGE is kicking the doors in right now. DOGE has become probably the most feared word in Washington because, as I mentioned yesterday, Marco Rubio 99-0, Scott Bassett I think it had 79 votes positive. What's the guy's name? Sean Duffy, big win. It's not until you get to RFK, Tulsi, of course, Pete Hegseth with the Department of Defense, and Kash Patel, do you start really seeing the opposition? Because those people, number one, control massive, massive budgets that have been pilfering from Americans for quite some time now. And secondly, in regards to Kash and Pam and Tulsi, they have some prosecutorial connections. And so Washington right now is literally on fire. And I don't mean that from, an aspect of something's burning. I mean, but it's on fire because these people are terrified. So what I want to show you, I want to show you a video. This is from the All In podcast. These are a bunch of billionaires, and it's with David Sachs and a couple other guys, and two of them have now been working with Elon and DOGE, and they're going to talk about what's going on.
The popular support for this is pretty incredible. I'll just go through a couple of numbers with you. Looking at what people agree with that Trump's doing early on and what they disagree with. Obviously, we talked about it last week, Chamath, pardoning the January 6th protesters and, ending requirements for government employees to report gifts. That's sort of like the Supreme Court thing. These are tremendously unpopular. And then if you go and you look at downsizing the federal government and imposing a hiring freeze and requiring all federal employees to return to an office, these are incredibly popular. And Elon tweeted these graphs out as well. So right now you have Trump at the apex of his political popularity, and you have these issues specifically in a very polarized time as incredibly popular. He's also done an incredible job with the border. That's another consensus-based issue. So Trump now has downsizing the government and controlling immigration and getting rid of violent immigrants as incredibly popular parts of his mandate. And that.
So yesterday, remember, I told you that Trump is focusing on those things that were most important to voters. And I showed you the contrast that the Democrats are focusing on stuff that nobody gives a crap about. They're running around all about DEI, all about racism, all about this, all about the stuff nobody cares about. Even in their DNC meeting that they just recently had, nobody cares what they're talking about. Pete Hegseth said that the military was no longer going to recognize identity months. Not going to have Trans Month, not going to have Black History Month, not going to have, people who like Lollipop Months. No. We're going to talk about valor. We're going to talk about America. That's it. And they're losing it. They can't even understand. Nobody cares about what you people care about. Barack Obama decided to get back in. He's like, 1 month for Black History Month. That's too small. We should do it more months out of the year. Dude, there's only 12. And the Transformers and everybody's have like the other 10. But in any event, if you want to celebrate Black History Month, if you want to celebrate Transformer Month or Pride Month or any of this stuff, go ahead. I don't care. Why do you want me to have to? Why do I have to, play your silly games? It's not like that anymore. So they're going to keep focusing on things people don't care about, and Trump is going to focus on things that people do care about.
That's the big win for him. If you look at his popularity, Trump is massively more popular than he was the first time around. He's at 49% compared to last time, 44. He's still the historically least popular president ever. So my point in all of this is, when you see Trump doing things like his meme coin or, taking on Pete Buttigieg today, all that kind of Trump 1.0 negativity, grifting, that's the stuff that's going to derail this. But the stuff that's not going to derail it is focusing on the Trump 2.0 agenda. And that is, as somebody who was a never Trumper, as you all know in the audience, and now somebody who is supporting him relentlessly, that margin, that extra 10% of people who support him right now is me and other folks who are looking at the people he put around him. He has to stay with the 2.0 agenda as hard as it is and stay away from the Steve Bannon agenda and the grifting. Those are the things that will take this all apart. So that's my appeal to them. I told everybody I give a letter grade. I give him a B so far.
I think that we have to...
All right. So why was that important? This was a guy, Jason Calacanis. Now that he's on that billionaire show, he was decidedly anti-Trump. He doesn't like the Trump coin. He doesn't like the Trump watch. He doesn't like any of that stuff. He thinks it's a grift and it was a negative, not realizing you're not the audience, bro. I'm sorry, but no one's ever going to suspect you of buying a Trump watch or Trump sneakers. You're just not the audience. But even with all that, this guy, and that's what I just told you, Democrats are beginning to come around. Not the nuts, but Democrats who actually understand and can put sentences together and don't have nose rings and blue hair. Democrats, not libnuts. That tent, remember the tent I was telling you about, and I've been continuing to tell you about. And I'm like, hey, we need to grow this tent. And so in order to grow this tent, what did I tell you a long time ago? These fringe guys, like Steve Bannon, aren't the ones you're going to want swirling around screaming the nutty stuff that they scream, because you want to bring in more people from the center left. We already have the right. We got to if you're going to grow, you got to grow over here. And so you just heard somebody who has been, and I've been following him for quite some time. I hate Trump. I hate Trump. I hate Trump. Oh, this isn't too bad. Oh, that makes sense. I give him a B. That's a long way away from I hate Trump. I'm like, yeah, he's doing some good stuff. That's the kind of way you grow this tent. So now here comes Chamath talking about DOGE.
That we're only 9 or 10 days into DOGE. So the fact that we're already at $1 billion a day is really incredible. And there has really been no discernible impact. There has been a lot of fissures of fake news and misinformation, but the real impacts have been negligible to none since they started making those cuts. I think that DOGE is a 3-layer onion. So layer 1 is the people. We have now given a pretty generous offer to folks. And I think Elon said it. It was like basically the maximum allowed by these contracts, but they tried to do a very good thing there. The second, as you guys just said, the second layer of the onion is going to be the infrastructure, all the buildings, all the physical plants that the government owns and operates that may be empty, that may be idle, and getting them back into private hands so that they can be repurposed. That's going to save a ton of money. But both of them will pale in comparison to the third layer of this onion, which is the IT and the services and the spend. And what I mean by that is when you read how the department is set up, at the center and nucleus of every single one of these DOGE teams is an engineer. And I think the reason is that they can get into these systems of record and start to trace where the money is going. And I think when you start to uncover through forensic analysis where these dollars are going and how it's spent, that's probably how you're going to close the gap from a trillion to, and I suspect, to be honest, it could be more than $2 trillion when it's all said and done. That is an enormous amount of waste, and it's unproductive. So I'm very excited for what happens over this next little while. Just the transparency is going to be incredible.
Okay, now we're going to put on your mathing hat here, because this is where it starts getting really, really interesting. I know that stuff can be dry, but take away something he said. DOGE is not filled with bureaucrats and politicians. That's not who's staffing this. It is mainly engineers. Nerds. Nerds who know how to code, who know how to extract code, who know how to dig in and find the stuff you don't want people to see. The forensic things that these people can do are probably not things you and I can do. We could look at a ledger and go, oh, there's $1,000 in this account and somebody spent $700. They're digging in forensically, utilizing the code, because there's stuff you don't see, and they're finding things that people didn't even imagine. And it's to the point where what Elon has done with these engineers. Let me just tell you, do you know what one of the first equipment purchases that Elon made for this DOGE agency, whatever we want to call it? The very first thing that he bought for these people was whatever office space they're using, wherever they are. He bought sofa beds. You see, he said, I'm going to staff this in such a way where you can sleep and then your replacement can hop back on the computer, and then when they sleep, you get back in. We're going to tag you and you're back up there. So they've been running 24/7 since, let's assume January 20th, but they may have been running 24/7 before then. So when you've been seeing these tweets and stuff going, how did they find? They're digging 24/7. They are like miners in a gold mine. They're just digging. And the first thing he bought was sofa beds and said, you're not leaving. I don't care if you got to bring some Red Bull up in the desk and wire it, so it goes right into your... Don't leave. Your job, I'm going to pay you really, really well, but the idea is to get going before they even notice what happens. And so now they've started digging. And this is where the fun stuff starts happening. DOGE has taken over, literally taken over the federal government HR department and canceled remote access to senior officials. They can't even get into the building. Since they were all working from home, all DOGE had to do was walk into HQ and change their passwords. So none of these people can now get into the building or into the computer systems. Number one, shut it down, secure it, block it. That way we have unfettered access right now to see what's been going on. Nobody saw what was coming. Imagine if you worked in the Biden White House or the Biden administration and you saw how inept, completely inept, Kamala and Karine Jean-Pierre and Biden, whenever he would get out of bed, you saw they're never going to find out what we're doing. Whether it was Obama or whoever that was pulling the strings, they knew they had functional idiots walking around the White House. So they had to do whatever they want. And they never imagined that these guys would jump in with engineers who were going to work 24/7, mainline Red Bull, and sleep on sofa couches. But that's what they did. And so they reported back to Elon, it's really bad. It's really effing bad. And so the order went out, obviously from Trump, shut it down. Lock it down. These people are done. Now we're the only ones in here looking. And this is when it starts getting really scary. Mario Narwhal, let me see if is it this one? Let me go back over here. Okay. Mario Narwhal posted this. Elon DOGE plan to slash $4 billion daily from government spending could be reached this weekend. Just think about that. Elon's like, I think we can cut $4 billion a day by like Sunday night. That was the guy, when I was getting my stretch this morning, that was one of the things the guy was like, how did they find all this money that's been stolen and reappropriated? Unbelievable. Shut it down. Let's get in there. Okay. This is what Elon said. Elon's plan to slash $4 billion daily from government spending could be reached as soon as this weekend. I am cautiously optimistic that we will reach the $4 billion per day fiscal year 2026 reduction this weekend. He had forecast that we can get to that point in 2026. Now, because of what they're seeing, it's like we're going to do it this weekend. I was hoping we get to $4 billion a day in 2026. Now, with what we found, we're going to get it this weekend. Right now, you're probably sitting there going, okay, Barry, you're in the weeds, man. The numbers are too much. Yeah, the numbers are way too much. I understand the numbers are way too much. But this is what they have been doing to us. Elon has assembled a powerhouse team of tech visionaries, including Mark Andreessen, billionaire, John Lonsdale, Antonio Gracias, Steve Davis, Travis Kalanick, billionaire, to eliminate waste, automate bureaucracy with AI, and kill bloated contracts. I know many of you are afraid of AI. You think it's bad. I told someone today in the X group, who said, oh no, they emailed me and they said, Barry, I'm really concerned about AI. It's going to do this and everything. And I asked them, and I'll ask you, are you afraid of your gun? And of course, the person emailed me back. I'm like, what do you mean am I afraid of my gun? Is your gun going to get up and walk around the house or do something without you doing it? No. The same thing with AI. AI isn't the problem. It's the people who use AI and what they tell AI to do. See, AI is a tool. It's a hammer. It's a screwdriver. It's what somebody does with that tool that causes the danger. And so what they're doing with AI is let's go in and dig and automate procedures so that we don't need a body sitting here getting paid $150,000 a year working from home who ain't doing anything. Oh, wow. Yeah, I could see that gun working. Yeah, because it's guys working for our benefit. Yeah, okay, but the Klaus Schwabs of the world are using it to do other bad things. And there may be people here who are using it for bad things. But the AI is only a computer program that you, meaning whoever programs it, tells it what to do. I think sometimes when people think AI, they think it's like this big brain, like in that Will Smith movie. It just sits there and it does everything. No, somebody had to program it. Somebody tells it what to do. Excuse me for a second. That is Robin, and when Robin texts, I have to answer. Okay. So anyway, government waste is on notice. He acknowledges that the goal is ambitious, but cutting half the deficit would fuel economic growth and prevent inflation. Government waste is on notice. DOGE is making it efficient and fast. The source of this was Yahoo Finance, Washington Post, New York Post, and X. And he was referring to, and Mariel said he found out that they could actually cut it this weekend to $4 billion saved per day. So Elon says that, and one of the things that was holding everybody back was this payment system. I talked about it last night, and this payment system is where everything gets dispersed in the government, and it goes to this agency and that agency. There was a guy who basically had the keys to it, and this guy realized he was stuck. He was stuck so bad. Let me get to this one so I can show it to you. All right. This guy, David Lebrick, controlled the computerized payment system responsible for $6 trillion in Treasury payments, but he refused to give DOGE access to the system. So he quit. I told you this last night. I'm out. Hey, we're going to do an audit. Rather than stick around and fight for his job, he knows he can't survive an audit. He knows what they're going to find. He quit. So one of the first things they found out this morning was this dude was actually his boss. going to piss you off. His manager was a Nigerian immigrant appointed by Biden. That guy quit 2 weeks ago when Trump got put in office. Wait a second. So this is the real Nigerian prince that we all saw in emails? This was a guy, that guy, the one on the left from Nigeria, was the guy on the right's boss who held the keys to paying people. That's who Biden put in place. And it says, David Lebrick, the guy on the right, worked for Nigerian Treasury appointee who resigned. Adewale Wale Adeyemo, a Nigerian immigrant, was Biden's deputy secretary of the Treasury. Wale resigned 2 weeks ago before David Lebrick refused to give DOGE team access to the government's computerized payment system. Now it starts getting really good, doesn't it? Like, wait a second. This one guy had the keys to the bank, yes. And his boss, who told him what to do with the money in the bank, was a Nigerian immigrant. You can't make this shit up. This is going to make for a spy novel, and you cannot make this up. How are we finding out on February 1st that this guy, a Nigerian immigrant, Adewale Adeyemo, was the guy in charge of the money of your government? You see, we always thought it must have been Congress. The House of Representatives has the purse strings. How many times have you heard that? How many times have you heard if Congress, if they want to spend any money, they got to go through Congress? That's lie number one. That's lie number one. This guy ran it all. And as the walls closed in and Trump got inaugurated, he bailed. And he left this other guy here, and I'm not using race to describe them because that would be mean. But you get the picture, what was going on, don't you? That this guy, they're both gone now. Oh, sorry. They're both gone. They both flew the coop. The guy on the left, I'm out of here as soon as Trump got in. The guy at the right, he bailed when Elon's boys knocked on his door. $6 trillion. Just let that sink in. Was being spent by the... Nothing got spent unless it went through these guys. Now, in your own business, in your household, maybe your wife handles a checkbook. I don't know who handles your expenses. You guys may say, hey, let's set the budget. We're going to figure out we're going to spend this much. But one of you usually handles, the reconciliation. And so you've got Congress, you've got the Senate, you've got the appropriations committees, you got all this. But all you're doing is putting in the invoice. Meanwhile, these dudes were taking care of it. All of it. Every flipping dime. And we just find out today that Adewale Adeyemo, a Nigerian immigrant, was running the show. About how pissed off are you right now? Probably about the same pissed off as I was when I found out about it. And then, let me tell you something's going to make your blood boil even further. This came out. The Treasury payment officers, the two guys you just saw, never denied a payment, even to fraudsters. Let that sink in. Not a single invoice, ACH, debit card, nothing ever got denied. If the invoice fell on their desk, if the disbursement order came through, they paid it. No question. I'm not using the superlative for any other reason that we need to use a superlative. They never denied a payment. DOGE found, and this is all in the last 24 hours, DOGE found that Treasury payment officers were told Notice that word. Now we got to back up. Hey, Elon, you can't leave me hanging. DOGE found that Treasury payment officers were told. Who told them? Who told these guys to approve every transaction? Don't even question it. Send the friggin' money. Even if you know the people you're sending the money to are fraudulent or a terrorist group. Your blood's boiling, aren't it? Yeah, you're kind of freaking out, aren't you? Yeah. Woosa. I can't even do Woosa. You've been stealing from us for God knows how long. And everything got paid, no matter who it was to, whether they were a terrorist organization, whether it was fraudulent, whether you knew it was fraudulent. We're telling you people, don't deny any payment ever. You do not have that right. I want to know who told them to do that. It goes further. In their entire careers, they never denied a single payment. Not once. And this is what Elon posted. The DOGE team discovered, amongst other things, that payment approval officers were instructed, who instructed them, always to approve payments no matter what. They never denied anything. And this was the guy on the right, the pale-skinned guy. Highest-ranking Treasury official is resigning rather than complying with a request by DOGE for access to an audit where they spent trillions of dollars per year. Why would career bureaucrats fear an audit? There's only one reason. There is literally only one reason why you would fear an audit. So, now we've got people in Congress who are waking up and go, wait a second. Besides the fact, just think to yourself, you're a sworn member of Congress or you're a sworn member of the Senate, and you are telling me that you never asked? Because that's what we're finding out too. Now we're finding out the 100 people in the Senate and the 400 or something in the House, hey, I didn't know nothing about this. Hey, it wasn't my job. What do you mean? It was never anybody's job, an elected official, to walk into this office and say, hey, what are you doing here? Marjorie Taylor Greene. What is the point in even having payment officers at the Treasury if they were directed to literally pay anyone and everyone, no matter what, even terrorists? The outright rot that is being uncovered and ripped out of our government right now is shocking. It shouldn't be shocking to you. You're a sworn member of Congress. I'm not calling her out. I love me some MTG. I'm just saying, what in the hell has been happening in Washington? How did nobody know that these guys were just sitting there eating bonbons and hitting send all day long? Yep, oh, here's 5 million. That's 20 million. Just don't even question it, ever. I saw a tweet earlier that said, if your job is to never question anything, then why do you need a job? I would think if I hired an accountant and the accountant's like, hey Barry, should we pay this? No, hold up on it. I've talked to him about something. I'm not really sure. If you never have to get approval, and you have been told by somebody never to question, just pay it. Why didn't they just have like an automated system? Because your job was completely useless. You were stealing. That's why he quit. That's why the other guy quit. They got to dodge. I don't think you're going to preserve your documents because I'm pretty sure the day that Kash Patel or Pam Bondi gets sworn in, they're going to tell you, revoke his passport. We are seeing FAFO in a big way. Right now, there are people, I don't know who they are, but you know they're the deep state, who are crapping their pants. Because now we found it out, and then also Elon went ahead and shut it down. Nobody's getting access to this, which means nothing's going out, And we're going to start looking to see what was going on. Let me pause for a second, see what you guys think about that. No wonder DOGE can save billions in less than a week. Yeah, they know. That's why they fear Trump. Exactly. This is why someone would want to unalive Trump. Now it all makes sense. I mean, think about that for a second. They did everything. You know about the lawsuits, the arrests, the mugshots, the 34 convictions. Keep bringing in, what's her name, the crazy one, Jean Carroll. Do whatever we need to do. Keep him in court. Don't do it. But now that didn't work. Let's take a shot. Because this is beyond the amount of money that people disappear for. I mean, there are people out there who different mobs at cartels that take you out for a lot less than that. And we're about to see some things that I'm warning you, and you guys have been watching my show, so you probably know, and you're probably thinking to yourself, now it all makes sense. Now I understand why they're screaming. Because thinking to myself, if I worked at a company and a company got sold, essentially, and there's a new CEO coming, I'm not jumping out of a window. I'm like, how you doing? How you doing, Bob? Nice to meet you. Love to hear what your vision is for the company. I hope I can help you. I hope I can be a part of this. I'm really hoping that I can be a part of your organization and continue to work here. I'll do everything I can to make you successful. We're not hearing that. We're hearing these people scream. How dare you? Oh my God, how dare you? If I hear the term one more time, career anything, I'm going to tell you to shut up. None of us said you get to work for the government for 30, 40 years. How did they put in place that a president can't clean house? Or is it just this president? No, this won't be on the local news. Not at all. It won't be local. You ain't going to hear it on CNN, ABC, CBS, or NBC. None of it. And we're just still touching the surface. I saw that DOGE post that they want to hire financial people who can look into the books. Yep, they're doing it. Remember where Biden went in Africa after the election? Yep, he went over there. If you see a politician's lips moving, you're so right. Call your senators and tell them you want Tulsi, Cash, and RFK confirmed immediately, and you want all of this reconciled. If they work for us, if that's truly how it is, because now I'm starting to doubt it. Because who knows what they've done. But if you work for us, I would think that you need to tell me how you're spending my money. And we're starting to see things, and I got some more here for you. Don't freak you out. Gonna freak you out. Elon's first wave of IT miners was genius and simply simple. It's all up to all of us to spread this information. And when I put these things up on the screen, I'm giving you the opportunity where if I put this up here, you can see who it is, and you can go search and find it. So let me just go to the next one here that Mariel put out. Trump administration cracks down on U.S. aid, foreign aid under review. The Trump administration is finally reining in U.S. aid, freezing billions in foreign aid and considering bringing it under direct State Department control. With hundreds of bureaucrats fired or furloughed, wasteful spending is on the chopping block, and America First policies are back. Critics claim reducing U.S. aid's influence could help China, but Team Trump argues it's time to stop funding global boondoggles and ensure U.S. taxpayers serve American interests first. With no new director named, speculation swirls, will U.S. aid even survive Trump's second term? Now, you probably heard that there's some judge in Rhode Island or something decided he was going to put a national injunction and say Trump can't do this. One problem, though. One big problem that will never survive appeal of his judgment. He may even pull it himself. is because when you can go in and say, now it's not just a pause. We have evidence of criminal activity. See, now they can walk in, hey, this is why I needed it paused. I needed it paused so I could find this out. Now, since you made your announcement, we found these two guys who both took off, and as we dug into their computers, we found out this was going on. We have a crime in place. This is, USAID is now a crime scene. And you do not have the right to shut down the ability to investigate a crime. At that point, that will not survive constitutional challenge whatsoever. It's done. I'm not a lawyer, but I know that much. I know that much that they're going to go back in and say, this dude quit, that dude quit, and we started looking into it, and there's a reason why they're publicizing all this. What do you mean? Well, they're publicizing because now you guys all know. We have evidence. Doesn't mean it happened in terms of, we can convict somebody, but we have evidence that a crime against America took place. Pretty much if you come home and your money's gone, your watch or whatever, it's not here, there's evidence a crime took place. I don't know who took it yet. I don't know who broke in the house, but I can say my watch was on my desk and now it's no longer on my desk and my door's broken in. Okay, there's evidence of a crime. I can't stop you from investigating that. So right now, they came home, the door was left open because these guys left, and there's money missing. We have evidence of a crime, people. This is why they're terrified of cash. This is what they're concerned about. It's going to get bad. I'll be right back. And now might be a good time to actually buy some gold and silver. As you know, President Trump has assembled the Avengers to make America great again. And of course, we're all excited and ready to see them get to work. But with everything we're seeing right now, don't take your eye off the ball. Things could get much worse before they get better. With the possibility of World War III still looming, and with the Democrats doing everything they can to impede Trump, you still need to keep your guard up and your money protected. Oh, and our national debt is still massively increasing. Don't get me wrong, I have high hopes for Trump's America, but I also have a family to look out for. You see, Trump and the Avengers have quite the uphill battle ahead. That's why I'm making sure I'm protected, and I'm recommending that you do the same. One way to be protected is by diversifying your portfolio. That's why on this channel I've been happy to partner with Lear Capital. As you know, I've been involved in real estate for quite some time. And although I dabbled in gold and silver, Kevin and his staff at Lear have helped to educate me even further, especially in regards to silver. Give Lear a call today and they'll show you how easy it is to move some of your savings or your retirement account into gold and silver. Gold and silver have been proven to hold value and protect wealth for the long term. Call Lear today at 800-601-5430 or go to learberry.com to get your free gold and silver wealth protection guides. There's no obligation, just free information. Many of you have seen my interviews with Lear founder Kevin Demerit, and I can tell you this company is solid and likes to educate their customers. Just so you know, Lear has over 27 years of experience, thousands of 5-star reviews, and over $3 billion in trusted transactions, and is the only company with a 24-hour risk-free purchase. You don't pay unless you're 100% satisfied. So call 800-601-5430 or go to learberry.com. And when you call, don't forget to ask how you can get up to $15,000 in bonus gold or silver with a qualifying purchase. So if you'd like to take advantage of this opportunity, please call my friends at Lear Capital at 800-601-5430 and tell them Barry sent you. All right, welcome back. Let me do a quick read that I've got to put out. Bear with me for a second. Actually, this is pretty good for you guys to understand and know. President Trump said he wants to teach our kids to love our country, and now that it's finally time and he's had his inauguration, it's the perfect time to teach kids everything they need to know about their new president and his mission to make America great again. That's why Mike Huckabee and his team put together the Kids Guide to President Trump. And to celebrate President Trump's return to the White House, they're giving it away for free. This book is great. It features fun illustrations and content teaching kids all about President Trump's accomplishments and his goals for his second term. Mike Huckabee wants to send your family this free guide so you can teach your kids the truth about President Trump. And when you order, you'll receive a free commemorative President Trump pin. But you must hurry because supplies are limited. Claim your free kids guide to President Trump for your kids right now. See offer details and order your free guide at kidstrumpguide.com. That's kidstrumpguide.com. Or you can hit the QR code on your screen right now. Actually, it's over here. Right? There it is. Okay, do it there. All right. So, let's talk about something. Ashley just sent me somewhat breaking news. So let me show you this somewhat breaking news, because it's right what we've been talking about. Breaking! DOGE now has full access to the United States Treasury payment system. Let the funds begin. Let the fun begin. And this was posted in the New York Times, and they're kind of freaking out. Elon Musk's team now has full access to the Treasury's payment system. Treasury Secretary, who just recently confirmed, who incidentally, they tried to unalive last week. Hold on with that. Gave Mr. Musk representatives at the so-called Department of Government Efficiency a powerful tool to monitor and potentially limit government spending. So Scott Bessent gets confirmed as the Treasury Secretary. Shortly thereafter, a couple days, they try to unalive him. Wonder why? Because they knew at that point this guy, Scott Bessent, could give the keys to the candy store to Elon Musk. And now, whatever systems they had to use to lock it down, now they have full access. This was at 5:10 p.m., so literally about an hour ago. Now Elon's people have full access to the Treasury system. Complete, unfiltered access. Now the games will indeed begin. And now you're going to see, I bet there's some Lear jets flying out of Washington tonight. I bet you he's been in touch with Trump already going, you're not going to believe what we're seeing. You're not going to believe what we're pulling up out of here. And like Gunther said, the corruption is about to be exposed. I almost feel that we have a need for prayer for this country. Because people have denied that there was this thing called the deep state for a long time. People have said, you know, it's just a term, the so-called deep state. Is the deep state in the room with you right now? Actually, they are. Actually, they're right here. They're watching your videos. They're spying on your phone. They know everything. And now this is the first time, probably in American history, that we know all about them. You see, now they've been locked out of the computer system by the best engineers in the world. They've had security clearances revoked. They're not even allowed back into buildings, these 51 intel officers. Now you know why they're terrified of Tulsi Gabbard, Kash Patel, and Pam Bondi? Yeah, you're finding out right now in real time. And any of these senators that were in deep with this stuff, how can I say this? Trump doesn't have to go after his political opponents. All Trump has to do, or in this case, Elon, and when he finds something, give it to whoever, Pam, or they just follow the money. They just follow the crime. This guy who's been in the Treasury office, who was told, pay these people even if it's fraudulent, even if they're terrorists. Who told him to do that? Because that's a crime. If you are paying somebody that you know is fraudulent, it's a fake company, it's a fake name, Think about how the tentacles now can be investigated. Fake company, set up by who, goes to what address, where was it deposited, where'd that money go, and you just start now. Hey, I'm not investigating my political opponents. I'm investigating crooks. You just better hope when we start investigating crooks that none of that money, wherever it went, ends up in your bank account. Now it's going to get dicey. All these people who did everything they could to Trump, who made tens and tens of millions of dollars, where everybody kept saying, dude, you get paid $175,000 a year. How in the hell are you worth 200 and 300 million? We're about to find out. It's mathematically impossible unless you went to the casino and dropped it on black and went all in 20 times in a row. You can't make that kind of money on $175,000 a year. Hey, Letitia James. Hey, you got any big deposits we need to look at? How about you, Alvin Bragg? How about AOC? Where'd this money go? Oh, we were told never, ever deny any payment. So you if somebody said give AOC $5 million, you just said boom, hit send. Who told you that? And here's where, some of these people here, like that guy who quit, this is where you get the immunity. We're going to take it easy on you, but we need to know everybody, every fingerprint, everybody who is involved in this. Absolutely. Let me continue. You ready? You sitting down? Mark Mitchell dug something up. Everyone is aghast about David Lebrecht resigning from Treasury rather than facing an audit. That was the white guy. But this was his boss for the last 4 years. You can't make this up. The dude is the former president of the Obama Foundation. That same guy, Wally Ali Adadamo, was the former president of the Obama Foundation. There's Wally. There's Wally. Shocked? I read this when Mark put this out there, and I saw that line. I went, oh my God. He was told never to deny any disbursement, ever. Even if you know it's fraudulent, and even if you know it's going to terrorists. And he used to be the president of the Obama Foundation. I can't see you because I'm just looking at a camera, but you're probably going, what the? Are you effing kidding me? Nope. So somebody earlier had put in the comment, you're never going to see this on the news. Oh no. Oh no, you'll never hear this. Wow. I'm seeing comments with like, huh? Now we know why they're scared. Yep. Bingo. Everything is connected to the Obamas. When I told Robin this, I was going to do this show, she goes, you sure you want to do this? And I'm like, hey, I'm just showing them stuff that's readily available out there. I'm not, Woodward and Bernstein digging up. I'm just saying, hey, you guys, you check this out. You seeing this? I'm not Elon digging in the computer system. He got something to worry about. Better have some really good guards. And his software engineers, they better be ghost. This is starting to get knee deep in the poop. Maybe waist deep. And nobody's telling you about it. You have to be able to piece the various pieces around. Because back when there used to be a media, they would dig into Wally the Nigerian and say, hey, Wally the Nigerian, let's look in his past. Oh, he used to be with the president of the Obama Foundation. Now he's running our frickin' Treasury Department. Damn, Wally. I hope you didn't have the same chef, Wally. Yeah, might want to have somebody else start your car, bro. Now you know why the Obamas got so many homes. Oh yeah, Liz Cheney making $36 million in a year. I'm telling you, when I said fire hose, I meant fire hose. I mean, sit there and hold it in front of you. I mean, there's just so much stuff. And the news won't talk about it. Let us continue here. And other people are talking about the same thing. DOGE, this revelation from Elon is crazy. If your job is to approve or deny government payments, but you never deny any payments, there's no reason for you to have a job. The real answer is to find someone willing to look out for the interest of the American people. The DOGE team discovered, among other things, so there's still more that he won't tell us yet, that payment approval officers were instructed to never, ever deny a payment. I just, if I ended right now and just told you that, that's enough to just make you go, you have got to be kidding me. And it continues. And this is why they're able to do some of the things that they're doing, especially right now. He says, very few in the bureaucracy actually work on the weekend. So it's like the opposing team just leaves the field for 2 days. Working the weekend is a superpower. I can attest to that. I'm not going to brag, but I'm pretty sure my show today and my show tomorrow are probably going to be in the top 5 in the rankings tomorrow and Monday. Why is that? Because the opposing teams pretty much leave the field on the weekend. They don't do anything. They chill, which is their prerogative. I'm not comparing them to the people who are stealing stuff in the bureaucracy, but I fully understand. So Elon's like, and just also chew this. Here's the richest guy in the world. Guy that can park a rocket. He's like, my team's working 24/7 for you. And you had guys like Steve Bannon bitching about Elon Musk with what he's uncovering. You had people on the right who were saying, I don't trust Elon. I don't trust him. He's not really MAGA. What? I just love that statement. It was such an Elonism. Hey, these people don't even work on the weekend, so it's like being unopposed. There's nobody in my way. They can't stop us. And I'm sure there's some people in the deep state went, oh, because they got fat and happy. They got fat and happy and got used to not having to do anything on Saturday and Sunday. Hey, let's go get a suite and watch the football game. Hey, listen, let's go wait and get Super Bowl tickets. And let's go let's take a boat down in Miami. We're good. We got millions and gazillions in the bank, and nobody ever's going to find out. And what? Elon's team is working? What? The Treasury Secretary just gave him the keys to the car? Oh, we're so screwed. Honey, fire up the jet. We got to get the hell out of here. I'm telling you, watch the jets, because these people, they now have been exposed. And it just keeps coming. And here's another one from Ian. Incredible. DOGE has taken command of the U.S. Office of Personnel Management and changed all the passwords of every employee who has been working from home. These employees have lost access to personnel databases and are no longer in control. This is from Reuters. Exclusive. I'm sorry, I just keep laughing when I see this stuff. Musk aides lock Office of Personnel Management workers out of computer systems. So you've got the guys from DOGE in there going, delete, 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 delete. Or this is where like a good use of AI is. Hey, Mr. AI, yeah, delete all the passwords from everybody who works here. And kill their key cards so they can never get any government building. Okay, and the AI will just go and eat all those passwords. You don't have to have somebody sitting there hit delete. You can just write a code. You got the best engineers there. Hey, write the code, do it with AI, get rid of all their passwords, delete all their keys, and so they can't do anything. And while you're at it, kill their Androids and their Apple phones too, just for fun. Imagine sitting home and you're some bureaucrat, you're somebody who's been stealing money, and all of a sudden you get a picture or a meme from Elon laughing. How'd you do that? I park rockets. I now own you. And that's when you realize, when you start ready to get logged in, and it ain't working. And you start calling a couple of your buddies, hey, can you log in? No, I can't log in. What the hell is going on? Oh my God, check X. Check what they just posted. They locked us all out. So we can't get in and they can? Yeah. Oh, we're so screwed, dude. You didn't shut that file before nope, didn't shut it. They're going to see it. Yep, they're going to see it. Then you got to call the guys above you and let them know that you left stuff unattended. And those are the guys who are going to call somebody else, and they're going to probably, you might be in a position to get disappeared. Because right now you're going to have some plausible deniability. I didn't know nothing. I didn't know what these kids were doing. Oh, he's gone? You mean like Seth Rich? All right, so let's continue. Imagine you work for one of these agencies, and then you're like, I can't get in any email. Let me try the back door I left with the website. They're breaking. The USAID government website is no longer available. Just think about that. That came out at 3 o'clock p.m. All this is happening, and Trump's golfing. Yeah, tell that guy, those Ayatollah Asahola, we're going to kill them all if they do anything. Yeah, tell them the Mexican cartels, you don't want to do that. Nice shot. Hey, boss, nice shot. It is so Godfather-esque, I can't tell you. And it just keeps, it's just keep coming. Oh my goodness. The USAID website is indeed down. USAID was the second largest funder of all those NGOs. Remember I was telling you about the 55,000 NGOs around the world that were getting all kinds of money to pay for all kinds of activities. Some of them quite illicit. Think 325,000 you-know-whats that they can't find. They were responsible also for the massive flow of newcomers, and the USA is the most intentionally misnamed agency there is because it had nothing to do with aid. They should have just called it USA Detergent. Why detergent? Because it's for laundry. It is simply for laundry. It's to get things cleaned, to do things. Now imagine, I'm going to go back to The Godfather, when they talked about Immobiliare, and they talked about, what's the other one? All these, Illuminati. All this money. It is incomprehensible. Trillions of dollars over who knows how many years, and these guys just kept hitting the button, hitting the button, hitting the button. And worldwide right now, not United States, worldwide, people are opening their bank accounts and going, oh my God. Oh my God. They know? They freaking know? They know? Lose my number. Think about what these guys are digging in these computers right now, where they have complete full access, where nobody else can get in, given to them legally by the Treasury Secretary. Here you go. Do what you need to do. You're in some NGO in Brussels. You're in some NGO, I don't know, in Mauritania. And you're waking up to the news that Elon Musk is your daddy. He knows where every dime went to every single one of these companies. But now it's personal. My money, your money. Yep. Trump and Elon work a bit differently than most. This is beyond winning. This could be apocalyptic. Right now, there are forces in around the world who are looking at this and going, "You got to be kidding me." Imagine you're, some big kingpin somewhere, and you told them, make sure my money. I can't even imagine. You owe me $20 million. What? It's on you now. You were responsible. I was supposed to get it, and now I can't get it because you can't give it to me. It's on you. You need to go find my $20 million. You see, I've made fun of it for the last couple of days, and I've called it, mobster and gangsta and all that, because it started looking like what it really is, an extremely enterprise level mob. Huge. Something none of us can even can comprehend. Because you think of the mob, running numbers and dealing in prostitution and selling cigarettes and small potatoes. Because everything they did, they actually had to use their own money. They were funding it with your money. Anything I want to do, anything in the world, at any time, I need $20 million. Don't ask, just send it. Think of that kind of power that you wield as a deep state person, where anybody, you become the world criminal enterprise banker. You guys remember, what was that show? Blacklist. That show, Blacklist. I used to love that show with James Spader. Do you guys ever see that show, Blacklist? I watch a lot of these shows because I think to myself, these aren't shows that people just dream up. These are shows where someone has a consultant who's telling them. So if you remember the Blacklist, James Spader was a blacklister, maybe the biggest one, and he decided the best way for him to control the criminal enterprise is to tell on all the other criminals. Because he had the black book of where all the money was going and how it was going, and tell me that doesn't seem familiar as hell right now. If you watch that show, if you haven't, go back, download it, and see if your head's going to spin. You're like, wait a second. Really? Yeah. Sometimes fiction isn't fiction. Because I started thinking it. And so some of you guys said, Barry, you're crazy. I'm like, go ahead, go watch it. The Cabal. Remember some of you guys who saw the show? The Cabal. And they would be leaders from all around the world. And they would say, we need to do this, and you're in shipping and jets, everything. And now we see we're paying for it. Yeah, remember the show The Blacklist? Exactly. The Obama is the new big guy 10%. I remember that show. It was great. Yeah. It's scary what we're seeing. And I don't have the answers. I have my suppositions, my ideas, but I base it on what I'm seeing. And this has got to be a little bit terrifying for everybody. It's got to be terrifying for Elon. Here he is, the richest man in the world, and he's probably calling saying, hey, Donnie, this is getting really bad. How bad is it? It's getting so bad, I don't know where we're going to go with it, because think about if he said, I can save $4 billion a day in 2026. And he goes back to him and says, I'm going to have $4 billion a day by this weekend. And so what you have to think is, for him to find a way to save $4 billion a day, it's coming from somewhere else. Clip, 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 clip. And these people who are going to get clipped aren't going to be happy. I had saw something. Let me see if I can find this. I forgot to clip this myself, but now it's starting to seep out. Rand Paul today says that. Let me see if I can find it here real quick. Yeah. So there's been talk behind the scenes. Rand Paul today calls for abolishing the U.S. Agency for International Development, USAID, and ending all foreign aid. So something he saw spooked him. This was at 9:30 this morning, so obviously he was in the know. He got contacted this morning. Yeah, that's him, obviously. And he's like, shut it down. Shut it down completely. Nothing goes out. Nothing. So you have a powerful senator now putting his name. I've seen enough. Shut it down. That refrain has to keep happening. Marjorie Taylor Greene, Nancy Mace, all these people now have to say, from what we've heard, shut it down. Nothing goes out to anybody until we figure out what the hell has been going on here. The American people at this point deserve to find out what's been going on in this country for years and years and years. Nothing. Nobody anywhere gets money. Because I think we just have to do it. Coupled with that, somebody had said, "Dear DOGE, have you considered a federal workforce-wide mandatory immediate drug test?" Elon Musk says, "Great idea." Jeff's like, "The sound you just heard was the collective gasp from several 100,000 federal employees." I don't even think it was a gasp. I think it was just an amazing stomach tightening, sphincter tightening, just audible, visceral scream. Notice what it says. Have you considered a federal workforce-wide mandatory immediate drug test? Who would that entail? Well, that would entail everybody. So I don't know if DOGE has the power to say that. But if they do find a way to have the power to even say that, you're going to lose a lot of people. You may lose some people in Congress. You may lose some people in the Senate. Mitch McConnell ain't ever taking a piss test. Ain't ever going to happen. Because if you pee in the bottle, they can test for a lot of different things. That's singularly. If there's anything in the what do we call it, the workbook? I haven't worked in so long. What's it called? The manual, the employee manual. If there's anything in the employee manual that says you have to submit to a pee test, we're done. Shut it down. Done. You've been working home for 2 or 3 years. You haven't even gone to the office. I bet you a pee test gonna find something from a whole lot of. I'll take the severance. I'm out of here. How about you, Senator, Congressman? You ready to pee in the bottle? Man, we're about to see some things that I don't think people are ready for. Not ready for whatsoever. I think it's going to get nuts. Let me see what you guys have to say about this, because they all just went into massive convulsions. Do vice presidents have immunity? Can they go after Harris and charge her for all this BS? Again, that's another thing they're going to, this preemptive immunity. I haven't charged you with anything. How can you preemptively? There's so much coming. So much. And the only thing I can keep telling you guys is that I look at the calendar and it's been 11 days. I see people screaming online, and they're like, "Oh, he's chaos." And I'm like, what are you going to feel like, I don't know, February 20th, when it's a 1 month anniversary? You're only at 11 days and you're freaking out. And everything I'm showing you right now, this is where it gets really scary for the people over there. Everything I'm showing you is Saturday's news. They're not even over Friday's news. They're not over boom, it just keeps coming. It literally is drinking from a firehouse. This is all happening today. And it's only 6:30. Who knows what else he's got coming? And so if you're a Democrat up there, maybe even some Republicans, you're like, oh my God, it just won't stop. He said it would be swift. You're right. Got to be a lot of people that buy that fake pee-pee stuff. I can't stop laughing. Somebody says they work for us. The word obliterate is not powerful enough of a phrase. You're so right. Because imagine they heard him say it on a campaign trail. I am going to obliterate the deep state. You're a funny guy. He thinks he's going to obliterate the deep state. You saw what we did in 1963, right? You saw what we did, right? He's doing it. They're not laughing anymore. You see, the worst thing he could do isn't really arresting some of these people. It's just turning off the money. Because right now there are NGOs, there are people around the world who depended on this flow, and now all of a sudden that flow ain't happening. We're talking probably tin pot dictators, little military operations in some country, in some village, in some hamlet, someone who needs to ship this cargo, needs to ship that cargo, needs to come on in, and you ain't got money for none of it. Things are about to get very, very interesting. That's all I can say. And I think you guys can see it. They didn't believe Trump, and that's their problem. Yeah, F-A-F-O. So at this point, who's laughing now? At this point, all of you who are praying people need to really start praying for some of these people right now. I'm not talking about well, you can pray for anybody. Because some people are going to need to have a come to Jesus talk, and some people are going to need Jesus' protection. And I can't decide who is who at this point. I don't have the roster. I don't know who's playing what game. I don't know if there's Republicans that are playing games. I don't know if Susan Collins or Lisa Murkowski or some of these people are playing games. But what I do know, if you were playing those games, if you were part of this cabal, game's up. Time's up. Watch if we don't see like, Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, and RFK Jr. and Tulsi get confirmed real quick now. That thing called leverage at this point. It's like, hey, Lisa, we found these payments going to you. You want to discuss what the hell's going on here before we go public with it? Hey, Liz, think about it. These people got fat and rich on your money and laughed at us and pretended like they could never stop. We can do anything about it. Now, no one can stop what is coming. It's starting to make a whole lot of sense. Not because of anything I'm saying. I'm just bringing you the news. You can see it and go, oh, shit. Oh, shit. All that money. And that's all everybody cared about is money, 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 even though it was yours. I wonder when they start whittling away, how much of our tax dollars are actually needed. Case in point, well, I'll get to this in a second. All right, so before I get there, two things I want to bring up to you. Trump, he was talking about last night. This. It's good to have the Venezuelan hostages back home, and very important to note that Venezuela has agreed to receive back into their country all Venezuelan illegal aliens who were encamped in the U.S., including gang members of the Tres Leches, and has further agreed to supply the transportation back. We are in the process of removing record numbers of them from all countries, and all countries have agreed to accept them back. Furthermore, record numbers of criminals are being removed from our country, and the border numbers are the strongest they have been since the first term of the Trump administration. Not sure if you caught it there, but that indeed was a Godfather move. I explained that to you from The Godfather 2 when the Corleone family was trying to get the license for the casinos, and he's like, Senator, I want you to put up the money too. Senator's like, I ain't doing that. And then, of course, the senator got in a problem, and he took care of it. And so other people are noticing this. Venezuela has agreed to take back all of their illegal newcomers present in the United States, including members of the gang, and, quote, they're even supplying to transportation. You're going to pay for it. You're going to take all these people back, and you're going to pay for it. That's gangster. That's really gangster. In addition, President Trump has signed an executive order requiring that any agency who creates a new regulation must identify at least 10 existing regulations that they need to throw out. That's how you gut big government. So you want to do this? Okay, you can do it. But tell me what 10 you're taking off the books. See, that pretty much shuts them down. That stops agencies from doing stuff, because in order for you to make one, you're going to have to give up 10. And that is a tri-level chess move if I ever saw one. Now, this is the blockbuster. This one here blew me away today. Interim U.S. Attorney Ed Martin has just sent a letter of inquiry to Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer over comments he made to the Supreme Court Justice in 2020. So now they've launched an investigation into Chuck Schumer. These guys know what they're doing. And so now Chuck's going to have to comply. He's going to go on television. He's going to bitch about it. He's going to moan about it. He's going after his political opponents, blah, blah, blah. I don't care, Chuck. Scream all you want. We're looking into you. And you did this on film. When you said Justice Kavanaugh, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, sorry. You made that one easy. Unbelievable. You know what I call that?
We're going to win so much, you may even get tired of winning. And you'll say, please, please, it's too much winning. We can't take it anymore. Mr. President, it's too much. And I'll say, no, it isn't. We have to keep winning. We have to win more. We're going to win more.
All right, so let me tell you about some, I don't know if we want to call this winning, but we can call this some more theft. This one is really going to piss you off. Bishop, or Bishopess, Marion Budd, you know, the one who that Trump went to the service and she basically tried to embarrass him. Yeah, well, they're digging up dirt on her. She collected $53 million from government programs in 1 year, in 2023. 53 million. That woman, remember her? 53 million. Now we know why she gave Trump the multicultural Marxist lecture she warned him of, because the money was on the line. Has this program been deleted from federal government? Probably. But nonetheless, you go to work every day. You may be on a fixed income. This Bishopess, which I don't even know what that means, collected $53 million of your money to help resettle newcomers. $53 million. I think I tweeted earlier on X, who wasn't getting paid? I mean, I wasn't, you're what, but I'm talking to people who wasn't getting paid, who's still not getting paid. I'm telling you, they're waking up this morning thinking they're going to hit their account and, ooh, nothing came in. How come nothing came in? I was expecting a wire transfer. Oh, they shut it down. You got $53 million? And you call yourself a woman of God? Knowing you were stealing from Americans? $53 million of my money and of your money, and she had the nerve to stand up in that church and give Trump a hard time. Maybe That was another boss move. Maybe he knew it's coming for you. Oh yeah, keep talking. Keep talking. Oh yeah. And JD's like looking like giving the side eye, like she don't even know, does she? She don't even know it's coming. Nah, she don't know. She don't know that we know. I don't know how far the rot is, but it seems like everywhere you turn, there's more rot. And I just had to wonder, while Trump was sitting in front of her, listening to her talk her crap, did he know, oh, you're so going down, witch. I can't wait till people find out. I can't wait till Elon lets it out that you took 53 million. I can't wait till parishioners, I can't wait till the public finds out you took $53 million. How are you going to explain that? It's funny. I gotta see what you guys say about that one. I mean, she's going down. Yeah. We want it all back. Wait till it starts getting mainstream newsed, if it does, and people start hearing you did what? You took $53 million of my money. The rot goes all the way to the school boards. Yeah. So now I think we're finding out, in no uncertain terms, why these people are so upset with the spigot being cut off with the newcomers. The newcomers were basically currency. Hey, if you can find a way to get 100 of these people in, we'll give you $1 million and you can go put them, over here. I mean, they weren't staying in her church. So she was basically a travel agent. Nothing more, nothing less. She was a resettlement, which means is pay me to have these people shipped, i.e. an NGO. Hey, we didn't do it. We didn't, I didn't spend government money. It was their money. It was that woman, Bishop S. She did it. We gave her $53 million and she did it. Well, why'd you give her $53 million? Oh, that's what the invoice said. You know why? Because we're not allowed to question anything. You see, you see how I just did that? Since they know they can't question an invoice, I can put an invoice in for $10 million. So whoever it is behind the scene, who's hey, it's good. Just keep paying. Once you get that original approval, they probably say, listen, as long as her invoices are below 20 million, pay it. Don't even ask any questions. It had to come from that same place. So those guys, the two guys, Wesley, the Nigerian prince, and the other guy, made sure she got $53 million. Wow. The newcomers are a meal ticket. Yep. You know how many boxes of donuts I can buy with 53 million? You could probably buy so many donuts that you could even probably hire a doctor full-time to serve you once the diabetes kicks in. You ain't going nowhere. You're just going to sit here and be my personal doctor. All right, yeah, because I'm eating all this shit. Oh, I laugh because if you don't laugh, this will make you cry. To see how we've been abused in this manner. And nobody wants to talk about it. Oh, we're going to talk about DEI. Oh my God, DEI. Well, hold on. Forget the DEI. What about the 53 million? Oh, no, DEI. You know why they need DEI? Because they need these organizations. Because they need BLM and Tranny LM and all these different things because that's where they're putting the money. They don't give a shit about these people. It's where they can funnel money. And so they need these DEI organizations. I mean, I never seen so many organizations in all my life. I don't even know how you can have that much organizing to do. Oh, that's right. It's just to move money around. Man, this Trump is obviously very patient, if he knew. Patience is the virtue, though. That is what you need. Because you need to know at what point do I strike. Because 53 million is nothing. she's a cog. With any investigation, you want higher up. She's not a player in the deep state. She was just a disbursement. I want to know that guy. I want to know who's pulling the strings, who's taking in trillions. So I don't care about her. We'll get rid of her real easy. We'll just publicize it, and then we'll take it from there. Small potatoes. All right, let me see what else here. Okay, speaking of, well, before I get there, he chopped off this guy's head. Just in, Rohit Chopra, the director of the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, has just been fired. This was ordered by President Trump. He was the director of that agency run by Elizabeth Warren, which was her little cash cow. And so he fired him, and then of course she went nuts on X and started screaming all over the place. Everybody's screaming. Everybody's screaming because everybody is being found out because the Don is settling all family business on an epic scale. I just showed you about Venezuela. Now Colombia. Hey, Colombia, we will pay for your deportations. In a plot twist so tough it could only happen in the Trump era, Colombia has stepped up to pay for the respectful deportation of its citizens from the United States following a heated exchange between Petro and Trump over the treatment. After Trump briefly played with tariff threats of up to 50%, Colombia caved instantly and swiftly offered to send a presidential plane to help. So now, in a new development, Colombia is rolling out the red carpet for its returning citizens because apparently being deported can be a dignified experience if you're welcomed by the president willingly on a presidential plane. Meanwhile, Trump's all set to make history with the grandest deportation bash aiming for millions because, hey, why not? And just like that, Colombia turns a deportation crisis into an unequal tug-of-war around a quick but wild negotiation. And that was from earlier this morning. I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse. It's happening so fast. It just keeps happening. All right, so let me finish up here. I want to show you guys some more stuff here. With this, think Trump did done Trump just to cover. A lot of shows and movies tell us the truth. Soft disclosure. Bury up the little rats, guide them to catch the bigger rats, because nobody wants the one to go to jail. What's the old saying? Nobody wants to be the person standing up when the music stops. And we've seen enough interrogations to know when I leave this room, this offers, it's over. So, tell me what you know so we can, it's so good. Isn't that like a cartel? It's specifically is what they're doing. Trump's not wasting time, none whatsoever. Even the innocent people are hiding, Donna says. Hey, keep your head down at this point. And so is Elon able to shut down their... Okay, this is a great question. Is Elon able to shut down their known bank accounts? No. Elon isn't a law enforcement officer. He has nothing to do with basically saying, hey, this payment went to Barry's account, shut his account down. No, he can't do that. He, however, can more than likely report it to the acting attorney general. Hey, we've noticed that Barry got $10 million and we can't figure out why. And here's where it went. Okay, we'll take it from there. So this weekend, I'm sure there's a report going out all over the place with people's names and their bank accounts and everything else. Just think about that for a second. These people are home. They're not working on Saturday or Sunday. And the banks are closed on Saturday and Sunday. And by the time they get to the bank on Monday morning, it may say, sorry, this has been seized by the Department of Treasury. Oh, the Secretary of Treasury who you tried to unalive last week. Yeah, that one. So, the orders may already be going out. The orders may be hitting different banks as we speak. As long as it's gone through the right parameters, if Elon found something and he reported it to the Treasury and the Treasury reported it to the acting Attorney General, and they don't know how fast it can work, but it's coming. Why are they moving so fast? That probably is an easier question, because the faster they can dismantle all the obstacles in their way, the more Trump can do. Think about that for a second, what you said. Why are they moving so fast? So if Trump says, I want to do X, but you've got this senator and this person pontificating and trying to stop me, what's the easiest way to remove these obstacles out of your way? Silver handcuffs. That's the easiest way. Hey, okay, you want to play it this way? You sure? Okay. Lock him up. See, a lot of these guys will talk really tough. This guy, but he has a pardon. But you can imagine, Adam Schiff gets up there and he talks a lot of crap. But you look at that pencil neck geek and you realize he's not built for jail. He's not built for it. These people live nice, cushy lives. These people got money. They got servants. They got this. They're not going to exist in orange jumpsuits. It ain't going to happen. So just the fact that you can say, I got the goods on you, and in the interim, we're going to go through the hearing. You can probably make bail. I don't know where you're going to get the money because we seized your bank account. That's why you move so fast. Get out of my way. Get out of my way. Let me run this country the way I was elected to run this country, and then we'll see what we can do to help you out. That's why you would move so fast. No one has a pardon. Those pardons mean nothing. I hope they find that out. Then you'll see even more butt clinching. The king of chaos is here. These churches need to lose their 501c3. Yeah, and she probably didn't do it through the church. She probably did it through some sort of, side NGO. These NGOs, they have to give all they stole back and give the money back. It's crazy. It's crazy. All right, so with all this going on, you would think that the media would begin to wake up. Well, they're beginning to wake up, but not in a way they should. They're beginning to realize they've been lied to, or some of them have been complicit, and no one's watching your stuff, and you're in big trouble. You watch Jim Acosta get booted, Chuck Todd is on his way out the door, nobody's watching these shows, and check this out.
This letter from the acting FBI director to all FBI personnel would seem to indicate that they are planning a massive purge beyond that. Some kind of purge against not just the agents who participated in some way in the two Jack Smith cases, where Trump was charged. But beyond that, they appear to be targeting all the FBI agents who were involved in any of the cases brought against January 6th rioters. And to put this in perspective, the January 6th riot cases make up the largest single investigation ever in the history of the Bureau.
Imagine that. The January 6th investigations make up the biggest investigation in the United States history, she just said. Hey, Rachel, why do you think that is? With all the kingpins and crap going on, why did they focus so much on grandmas? I know for a fact because we've interviewed Kim Wargo, a grandma. It's terrifying. She's an insurrectionist.
January 6 cases are the largest criminal caseload ever assembled by the Department of Justice. If they are going to try to purge every FBI agent who took any part in any one of these well over 1,000 cases, that's kind of the whole FBI. I mean, not every single member of the FBI, but certainly most of the FBI.
You finally realize it, huh? You understand that's specifically what Kash Patel said he was going to do. Now it's starting to sink into these people. Oh, they really mean this, don't they? Yep. Coming for you. All you deep state tools, all you deep state puppets that just have somebody stick their hand up your butts while they're paying you $30 million a year. You're starting to realize the walls indeed are closing in. And they're closing in real fast. Trump's going in, or whoever is going in with an axe, and they're chopping down all of it as much as they possibly can.
Enormous impact, Kate. This is probably the biggest purge in the modern history of the FBI, and we're talking about most of the senior leadership at the Bureau. You mentioned those 6 executive assistant directors. They're like the top supervisors on the 7th floor here in headquarters at Washington, D.C. But today we're learning that as many as 20 or more special agents in charge of various field offices around the country have also been removed from their posts. Now, technically, these people can't be fired illegally, but the practical reality is that it's really difficult for them to fight it, and many of them are eligible for retirement, and so they are retiring, they are capitulating. But people we're talking to are very alarmed. They say it's not supposed to work that way. The FBI is not staffed by political.
It's not supposed to work that way? I'm pretty sure going after a former president and trumping up charges, no pun intended, and bringing up 34 felonies and doing stuff with Alvin Bragg and what's her name, Fannie Willis, and I'm pretty sure that's not how it's supposed to work either. I'm pretty sure putting Steve Bannon and Peter Navarro and all these people in jail just because they were associated in any orbit of Donald Trump, I'm pretty sure that's not supposed to be how it's supposed to work either. But we had to deal with it. So now, you saw it coming. See, the funny thing I look at this is, and you guys have watched the rallies, you've heard the speeches, he said it was coming. I am going to obliterate the deep state. They thought it was a joke. They thought he wouldn't do it. There's no way he could do it legally. And this guy here, Ken Delanian, who's like the mouthpiece of all mouthpieces for the deep state, he's like, well, he can't do it, but in all likelihood, these people can't fight it. And so they're probably going to quit or resign or retire. You mean like everybody else who couldn't fight lawsuits that you came after, but this time you want to go ahead and do a wrongful termination? It may not terminate you. Like I said yesterday, your desk is now in Antarctica. You're here to make sure the penguins don't, come across the research center. That's your job now. I didn't fire you. You can still collect your salary, but you now live in Antarctica. Or maybe, I don't know, Suarez, Mexico. These people are toast.
Appointees, unlike many other agencies, these are career civil servants we're talking about with decades of experience at the nation's premier law enforcement agency that's also an intelligence agency. And there's real concern here about who's going to fill these jobs going forward and also why this is being done. Is this retribution because the FBI investigated Donald Trump in 2 criminal cases?
As I noted right before the break, on another piece of breaking news tonight here in the nation's capital, where the Trump administration has conducted an unprecedented purge at the top levels of the FBI. Unprecedented. Administration officials have forced out all 6 of the FBI's most senior executives and multiple heads of various FBI field offices across the country.
I don't know how they didn't see this coming. He made no bones about it. Obviously, and I'm looking at her, she doesn't seem to be that good of an actor, and they seem shocked. They seem absolutely shocked that Trump is coming in and he's just swinging the machete and chopping the weeds down. How could you not? Did you think the guy was lying? Did you think when you had all these cases around the country that he wasn't sitting in that courtroom, that cold courtroom, as he would say, steel look in his face, going, "They have no idea. I am going to rip the butt off of these people." Like that video I put together with the Christopher Walken speech. You keep nipping at his heels, and you keep messing with him, and then one day that lion turns around and tears the crap out of everybody. That's what's happening today. He is tearing the crap out of these people, and they're acting like, what happened? There's something else that's happening. There's something, I'm going to tell you this in a second.
To current and former FBI officials who spoke with NBC News. This is hostile takeover of federal law enforcement. There's no other way to call it. Included the high-profile leader of the Washington, D.C. field office, which was involved in the prosecutions of President Donald Trump. The Department of Justice also fired multiple federal prosecutors who conducted the criminal investigation of January 6 rioters, according to sources. Now, just to take a moment, a step back, and I know there's a lot of news you are consuming right now, but these are officials, these are not political officials. These are career law enforcement officials, all of whom have worked under multiple Democratic and Republican administrations. They are not political appointees. Many do not even work in the FBI's Washington headquarters. Like Spencer Evans, he's a special agent in charge of the Bureau's Las Vegas field office. In a note obtained by NBC News, Evans writes, I was informed by FBI headquarters today that the executive leadership at the Department of Justice plans to dismiss me from the roles of the FBI, along with several other FBI executives, as soon as Monday morning. I was given no rationale for this decision, which, as you might imagine, has come as a shock.
The reason it's coming as a shock, Spencer, is because somebody, somewhere, promised you that you were untouchable. You have to realize, like she said, let's sink in, is that these guys aren't stupid. They knew what they were getting into. And they've known for quite some time that the lawsuits that they worked on, the criminal processes that they put in place, got thrown out of court a while ago. They saw it happen. Now, if you saw that happen, I forget when Jack Smith's case got dismissed, but if you saw that happen, he's barking again. Why didn't you say right then, you know what? More than likely I should get out of here. He's probably going to come for me. And what he says right here. Okay, where I missed it. It was that fast. What he said right there was it came at quite a surprise to me. That's not it. What's probably gives a better explanation is that somebody promised they would protect you. Somebody said, don't worry about it. Okay, he won in November. Hey, man, am I okay? Am I still going to have a job? I mean, he won the election. Don't worry about it. I got you. Whew, thanks. He gets inaugurated. You sure? Everything's okay? You got me? I got you. That person was probably Christopher Wray. And then Christopher Wray fell on the sword and left. And you were sitting there holding your thing in your hand going, oh my God, they're coming for me, aren't they? They're coming for me. That's why it's unexpected. You thought you had a get out of jail free card, and you found out you didn't have nothing.
Things are potentially devastating to the nation's ability to fight terrorism and corruption, investigate crime across the country. That's what the FBI does. But they are also not just about law enforcement officials in Washington. They're no doubt going to have an impact on the local communities they serve as well. We're going to be learning more about that, I'm certain, in the days ahead. And it's leaving a lot of these local FBI field offices across the country in a huge lurch. Now, at the same time that Trump is purging the Bureau's...
One of the biggest law enforcement agencies in the country, and these, from what she said, 20, 30, 50, 100 people getting locked off. You would think that they've had, people underneath them who have trained, who are competent, who could step into that role. They make it seem like there's nobody else there. This dude got fired. It's going to cause all kinds of safety problems because there's no one to take their place. Well, what about all the other 50, 60, 70,000 FBI agents? You're telling me nobody in the entire country is in a position where they can be promoted? How can that possibly be? It could never happen in any other corporation in America. If tomorrow the vice president of XYZ company got arrested or got hit by a bus, there's somebody who would be promoted to the vice president of whatever. You can fill in the dot on whatever company it is in the country. Once you get to the C-suite, there are other people who are aspiring to be in the C-suite. But you're trying to pontificate as though there are nobody else who can take these jobs. We are in such a bad way. We are going to be so worried about national security because there's nobody else in this huge agency that can take this person's place. I'm gonna call BS on that, because I know a lot of cops. I know a lot of people who've worked in the FBI and some that still do. Some people who are very competent, who could really easily step up. They're just lawyers. And I don't mean that badly for any of you guys who are lawyers, but if you're a criminal lawyer, we're not talking about a huge leap.
Multiple sources tell NBC News that the Office of the Acting Deputy Attorney General, former Trump defense attorney Emil Bovee, has asked the FBI for a list of employees involved in January 6th cases. Now, that could include case managers, technical workers, intelligence analysts, workers in almost basically every single field office the FBI has. As one former bureau official told NBC News, this is a really, really big list.
Any semblance of diversity and inclusion is literally being wiped off the map. The New York Times put out a photo today of the walls of Quantico, the FBI Academy, where they're painting over the FBI's core values to include integrity, adherence to the Constitution, and diversity. A less diverse FBI is a less effective FBI. Try doing surveillance on the street in the inner city with two white guys. Try working undercover in a Middle Eastern terror organization with a white guy. It doesn't work.
That's not DEI, stupid. Oh my God. Their audience must be walking, talking morons. Try doing an investigation in the hood with a white guy. Try talking like a terrorist organization with a white... That's not DEI. That's a professional who's going in undercover, who happens to be, somebody from the Middle East or somebody who's black, because they're not getting the job because they're DEI, because then the white guy would be DEI, you stupid moron. Hey, I'm a white guy. I'm gonna go in an investigation into a drug lord here in the hood. Dude, they're gonna shoot you like the first day. What do you mean? Well, they know that you're white. So, but you're just here because you're DEI. We need somebody who can talk hood, talk slang, talk jive. Look the look. It's sort of like a basketball player. You can't dunk. That's just the opposite of DEI. The black guy playing the role in the FBI in the hood with the drug dealer is doing it because he's proficient in playing. When I tell you these people are done, they're absolutely done.
That way. So we're becoming less and less safe very quickly.
It can only be described as the start of a massive, much larger than expected purge at the FBI of FBI agents and officials. Many of them, in one way or another, touched the investigation.
I played her yesterday. I wanted to put her back in here because I rewatched this, and it's almost like it hurts. You're watching the life be sucked away from these people on television because they know there's nothing they can do about what's coming. No one can stop what's coming. And they're realizing everything they stood for the last 4 or 5 years, anti-Trump, anti-everybody in MAGA, and now it's over. Imagine yourself in that position. Everything you stood for the last 4 or 5, 6, 7 years. Fight Trump. We're never giving in to Trump, and you're realizing it's futile. There's nothing you can do. Everything you've tried, it didn't work. And his popularity keeps getting stronger. And you're so stupid, you can't even talk about the thing. Maybe you're precluded, but you can't even talk about the things that people even care about. People want to know about immigration. People want to know about the economy. And you're screaming about stupid stuff.
Into Donald Trump. Sources telling NBC News this: the Office of Acting Deputy Attorney General Emil Bovee asked the FBI for a list of bureau employees involved in January 6 cases. sparking panic inside the Bureau by people who fear retribution by the Trump administration amidst an on.
Did you hear what she just did? So this is great. She's reading a teleprompter, and she got to that part in the script, and she read it and realized, I shouldn't have said that. You should have wrote a different word, you moron. Sparking panic. She just said on television, in a live show, it's causing panic. Why would they be panicked? And it caught her. She's astute enough to know when reading, but she couldn't change it. She couldn't. It showed up and panic, and she stopped and realized, oh no, I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have said that.
Going purge of FBI leadership. Meanwhile, my colleague, NBC's Ken Delanian, reports that several top FBI executives were told to resign or be fired, and that the purge includes more than 20 heads of FBI field offices, including those in Miami and Washington, D.C.
When you are flying on an airplane with your loved ones, which every one of us in this room has, do you pray that your plane lands safely and gets you to your destination, or do you pray that the pilot has a certain skin color? I think we all know the answer to that question.
I don't even know what the question means, let alone know the answer to that question.
You're a moron. You're an absolute moron. She was she spoke English. Maybe that's your problem. She said, sir, when you get on an airplane, do you care what color, nationality, religion that person is, as long as they can fly the damn plane? Very simple. I don't care if you're black. I don't care if you're white. I don't care what you are, as long as you're the best of the best of the best. And he's like, I don't even know what that means. Why wouldn't you know what that means?
Creating some kind of dichotomy that we shouldn't value diversity over safety, which means I don't know what you think she's saying. I don't know what she's saying.
Well, it seems pretty clear that the question here is whether diversity can coexist with merit. And I think that answer, simply based on this show, is yes, it can coexist with merit. It does coexist with merit. But this is something that this president and this administration has.
It can't coexist with merit. You can't hire somebody because they're a DEI person and hire someone who's meritoriously been hired. Otherwise, they wouldn't need the DEI, you moron. I don't even think they hear the crap that comes out of their mouth. Oh, they can coexist. And I'm like, if I'm the best, if I show up in the office and I'm the best there, I don't need the DEI. Because unless you're saying, which she may be saying, is that there's people there who want to hire people and they won't hire the best. So they need the DEI because for some reason, someone running a company in 2025 doesn't want the best possible employee. No, here's what they don't want. They don't want somebody with green hair and a nose ring who's going to be a problem and doesn't fit in with the company culture. Been there, done it, seen it, hired people. These people lie. And now the lie's being, it's being broadcast.
And absolutely assiduous in pushing that these two values are absolutely incompatible. And whenever you have diversity, you have a diminution of standards. And that's simply not the case. I mean, again, we are talking about DEI just weeks after we confirmed an individual who, under the prevailing standards for the Department of Defense, would not have been confirmed as Secretary of Defense only 10 years ago. So, I mean, the whole question of whether standards has been lowered really does seem to be rich.
So Pete Hegseth 10 years ago wouldn't have been confirmed because anonymous people said bad things about him? I'm pretty sure he would have been confirmed. You know why? Because I know was it 10 years ago that Obama was president and the dude wrote in a book that he sold coke. I'm just saying. I'm pretty sure that, we know that Bill Clinton won an election and then won re-election, and he was doing some really, really weird things, wasn't he? With lots of different women and paying them big money. They hope you can't remember. They hope that you don't put your memory to work and understand they got nothing. And the only reason I'm showing this crazy woman is because they keep focusing here. And the whole rest of the show that you've seen thus far, Trump's just kicking ass. And they can't take it.
In this context, but I want to just emphasize this assault on the deep state, the connection of the administrative state with diversity, equity, and inclusion. This is about rolling back the gains of the civil rights movement. It's about eliminating a sector of employment that has actually been pivotal to African Americans and other minorities getting a toehold in the middle class. This is about rolling back.
She must not have watched the hearings the last couple of days. I'm pretty sure Kash Patel, who's up for the top dog position in the FBI, he's not white. I'm pretty sure there's a woman, that's one side, and she's Indian, Hindu, whatever, who's up for the D&I position. I'm sure. Well, you probably don't like Pam Bondi because she's blonde hair and white, but she's a woman. So what are you talking about? We just saw Kash Patel and Tulsi Gabbard sit up there.
Those gains, rolling back that prosperity, and putting a group of people in their place. This is about reestablishing, reentrenching a form of racial and gender hierarchy.
Pal, my friend, necessary conversations. Let's get straight to it. Guantanamo Bay, a place that you and I know well, having been in Miami and in Florida. Maybe a lot of people don't know. There's the military facility, but then they also have a separate detention facility for migrants. And listen, the military facility, they keep the detainees after the September 11th, 2001 terrorist attacks. But we're hearing, and we know, the vice president of the National Immigration Law Center saying, report upon report of conditions in those detention facilities that don't provide basic health care. They shackle women when pregnant, and they haven't had protections for communicable diseases such as COVID. I mean, Paula, the continued dehumanization of migrants is the goal here, right?
Does she know that? Let me check my watch. Does she know that as of like 11 days ago, Biden controlled Gitmo? And there were prisoners there. Do they not realize that? Does her audience think that Trump is just sending people to Gitmo and, oh my God, you see the conditions in Gitmo, they're horrible, and I can't believe he's doing this. But 11 days ago, your guy was doing it. You see, this is why they're losing so much audience share. They talk down to people and expect you to be stupid.
That's exactly right. I think the first thing that comes to mind when you mention Guantanamo, when you mention that report, is war on terror. And that is precisely the point. That is what Donald Trump wants us to think about. Look, I think if you take a step back, and you look at all of these images that we have been bombarded with just this week, Katie, you see the ICE raids, you see troops deploying to the border, you see the images of military planes carrying migrants, and now the image of Guantanamo Bay. The point is precisely to get this country to believe that we are entering this new chapter on the war on terror. And it makes sense. For over a year, and you and I have been talking about this for so long, for over a year, Donald Trump made millions of Americans believe that we were not only being invaded by migrants, but he used one very clear word. He said we are also being conquered by migrants. And so the point that we are in right now is for Donald Trump to continue to condition Americans to believe that story and to now...
The big, beautiful chart. The chart where, he turned his head and almost got killed. You have to condition people when 8, 10, 12,000 people a day were coming across the border. You think he had to, I don't know, condition us? Or was he just showing actual numbers put out by your government? When people would see what's going on and see, these newcomers beating up cops in New York City, or I don't know, maybe torching a woman and fanning the flames, you think he was conditioning us? Or we don't want that here. Do you think it's conditioning us when we I don't know, see the chart just go to zero and all of a sudden nobody else is coming in? Is it conditioning when we see them leaving? Because if it wasn't real, there'd be nobody to leave. Those planes would be empty. Was it conditioning when we saw the CB1 app and they were just flying them in all over, except for, Cape Cod or Nantucket, because they're like, hey, get out. No, I don't think that was conditioning. You think it's conditioning when we saw the videos and the drone footage of tens of thousands of people surging the border? Was it conditioning when we saw them run through soldiers and the soldiers couldn't react? Do you think Laken Riley's mother, had to be conditioned? I could go on. But you're insulting people now. Because what you're saying is those of us who are MAGA didn't have the ability to see for ourselves what was happening. It was all an illusion. Trump made it up so that he could condition you. It wasn't happening. These women weren't dying. They weren't getting killed and other things happening to them. It was all an illusion. Well, what's funny is, let me see if I can get it.
Believe.
Is it an illusion that they're leaving? Or are there actually people leaving who aren't supposed to be here? Tell me what part we're not supposed to understand. Because you sound really stupid, as is the theme with you people. But to tell us that we didn't have our own ability to see the picture of what the hell is going on. Wow.
But the next iteration of that story means to defeat them. And to defeat them, meaning the terrorists. So I think what Guantanamo Bay brings up, what scares me at least, is that history tells us that when, as Americans, we sort of enter this paranoid state that we're in, we do have a tendency to turn a blind eye on the violations that happen in Guantanamo Bay. No, we have a tendency to turn a blind eye on the human rights violations, the abuses, and all of the darkness that has happened there, and that is exactly where we are. So our job is...
Wow, so these abuses and conditions just happened in the last 10 days. That's amazing. It didn't happen beforehand. The whole time that Biden had people down there from, before, didn't happen. But now all of a sudden, because they might be newcomers, oh, that's different. They're prisoners.
To ensure that we don't turn a blind eye, that we don't allow history to repeat itself.
Ellie, is there any legal recourse for these individuals who've been fired?
Generally, yes, Jim. So most of these people have some level of civil service protection, meaning ordinarily before you can be fired under the civil service rules, you have to be given administrative process and notice and a hearing and all that. Donald Trump seems to want to flip that, where I fire you first and then you can take the time and expense going out and hiring an attorney and challenging this. So we could see challenges. And Jim, just to one important point that Evan made, when you are on the line, as we used to say, which I used to be, part of the reason you can do your job effectively is it doesn't matter who the president is. It happened in my experience that my first half of my experience at DOJ was under a Republican administration, switched over to the Obama administration. I had another second half under the Obama administration. It made zero difference to the work we did in New York. It made zero difference to our pursuit of these criminal cases. That's the way it ought to be. But when you're firing people explicitly for political reasons, and the letter that went out earlier this week said the reason you're being fired is because you worked on a case against Trump, that changes the very nature of DOJ.
All right, so let me talk about this. He said somebody was there with Bush, and then they were there with Obama, and then they were there and there and there and there. And it's just continuity. Nothing. Well, did you investigate George Bush and impeach him 2 times and have lawsuits across the country and do everything did you do all that to him? Did it happen to Obama? Did it happen to Biden? Or did it only happen to Donald Trump? I'm pretty sure nobody went after any other president in the manner they went after Donald Trump. I am so sick of people who say that, he was a criminal. No, he was a man that you decided to dig into to try and make crimes up. If somebody was a criminal, if they had a shady past, you wouldn't have to fabricate all this stuff. But you didn't do that to Obama. You didn't do that to George Bush. You didn't do that to Joe Biden. You had ample opportunity, especially with Joe Biden. You looked the other way. So of course, it's not the same. You're not comparing apples to apples. You guys, you FBI agents, decided you were going to use your position to try and take down a sitting president and a former president. Didn't happen with any other president. So you get what you get. But fortunately, I've been telling you, there's some Democrats at this point who are starting to realize this is a bunch of crap and that our media is crap. One of those is none other than Bill Maher.
I asked them a question today, and I'm sure if you're of the type of person who just always hates the one team and loves what the other one does, they asked them a question about the crash. They said, will you visit the crash site? Now, every other politician would go, of course, it was a tragedy. And he went, it's the water. What do you want me to do, swim there? You know? And I was like, exactly, fuck right, you're exactly right. It's a stupid question, and you got just the answer you deserve.
We were watching it, and I said that. Many people like, what? You people get the opportunity to talk to the President of the United States to ask him a question, and that's what you came up with? And so he looked at you like you were an idiot and said, hey, you expect me to go hang out in the water? Because that's where the crime scene is. They are so unprepared as a profession. The media is toast. Before I close up here, let me show you this one. This is from Katie Couric, put this out. Wow, she's talking about how the Pentagon has decided that they're going to do some sort of rotating press conference, and they're bringing in Breitbart and OAN and New York Post, and they're telling the NBC, New York Times, and NPR and Politico, you got to get out. And she says, wow, this is how news becomes propaganda. It's begun. Pay attention. Now it's propaganda? I won't even go through it, but you guys could go to this post and look at these comments, and people are like, you didn't just say that, did you? Did you really just say that? Molly Hemingway says, remember that time you deceptively edited an interview in order to push your anti-Second Amendment agenda? Can you imagine if Secretary Hillary Clinton had announced on her first day she was going to kick Fox News out of the State Department? She did. They arrested James Rosen, you morons. And the comments are just, Katie, you know, that's going to use that Saturday Night Live skit. You ignorant, you know what? They're so out of touch. They've lost. They've completely lost everything about, and it's going to get worse. Because this got put out there last night. Breaking, the FCC launches massive investigation into the NPR and PBS. This could be the end of public broadcasting as we know it. So Trump, just so you know, he's dismantling all this other stuff, and he's dismantling PBS and NPR. And you know he's going for planned you-know-what next, taking their $60 million and more away from them. Everywhere the Democrats and liberals look, it's crumbling. They don't have anything where they can say, this is working, and they have no way to respond to the stuff that he's doing. Excuse me. I'm going to close with this one, because more than likely, this show will do better ratings than most of the shows on MSNBC. Barry, how can you say that? Because it's pitiful. If you had a bad January, you probably didn't. Just know this. MSNBC averaged 63,000 demo viewers in prime time. Think about that. 63,000 demo viewers in prime time. I sent something over to Mark, and I'm thinking, you know what? Maybe I should move my night show to 8 p.m. And I'm thinking, if I go at 8 p.m., which is prime time, maybe that's when I need to start doing it. Instead of 7:30, do it right at 8 o'clock. Do it at after dinner, prime time. and go after MSNBC and CNN. And I'm thinking that might be a really, really, really good idea, because advertisers love prime time, and my numbers will destroy them. And Benny and PBD and Dan, they've long done their shows earlier in the day, and I would pretty much be the only person at night. So I'm thinking next week I might start doing my shows at 8 p.m. The second show. I'd still do the earlier show, but my second show, doing it at 8 p.m. Because 63,000? Damn. You're in a multi-million-dollar studio. You're getting paid $20-30 million a year, and little old Barry in South Florida in his home office with his two doggies barking, and delivery guys ringing the bell can kick your ass. Yeah, y'all. Yeah, I'm up for that. I am seriously up for that. Let's do that. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys think. Yeah, do it. Yeah, I'm all about it. Ashley, she says prime time. Yeah, why do you always diss Tim Pool? I don't diss him. I never say anything negative about Tim Pool. The only thing I do is I may forget him because there's so many guys out there. When I look at the rankings, I think to the top. That's why, and I'm thinking Bongino and Benny and PBD and Redacted and Tim Pool. If I took the time, I could go through almost all of them because I look every single day. So I'm not dissing him. I just don't remember to include him in all of them. But Tim Pool, I like Tim Pool. He's kicking ass. He's doing very, very, very well. I aspire to be and do those kinds of numbers. Absolutely. Yes, do it. I would be in bed, but I would watch it the next day. I like Tim. Yep, Tim is good. All right, so that's what I got for you tonight here on a Saturday. I mean, is it Saturday? I even lose track. Ashley just texted me, and she's caught up on the hoodies. So what that means is I need to get ready to do some hoodies. Where is it? All right, let me get it ready. I thought she wouldn't be ready until Monday, and she got ready earlier. All right, so let me put this aside over here. Let me bring this up, get to another window. Which window would be better? Okay, this would be a window that's better. Let me go here. And yep, we're all set to go. So I just got to find my drum roll thing, my drum roll music here. There we go. Boom, let's do it. Number one. Susan Maines. Susan Maines, you are a winner. Susan Maines is a winner. So I'm going to go and get another one here. Get another one ready. And here's the drum roll. Let's go ahead and pick number 2. Timothy Smith. Timothy Smith is number 2. Let me go ahead and get ready for one more. And run the drum roll. Let's go ahead and do it. Jess Davis. Jess Davis, you are the third winner. Thank you guys for playing. If you'd like to join us in our X group, I do have another image. I just forgot to bring it in. We're at 14,000 at this point. 14,000 fellow patriots. It's really growing. And you know what's really important about that? I'm seeing some people who got their feet wet in the group who are now starting to get traction outside the group. They're gaining followers, they're doing their content, and I'm absolutely loving it. I am absolutely loving it that they took what we were doing as like an incubation and are really kicking some butt and doing some great things. So that's fantastic. I am so proud of you people. It's amazing. Tomorrow night we'll be giving away 3 more, so go ahead to enter to win. Go to fanfareshop.org to enter to win your hoodie. All right, so let me go here and look at some super chats, make sure everything is working. All right, case you guys never been here before, this is when part of the show where I basically go through and I acknowledge everybody who gave a super chat. So the show is pretty much over, but this is me giving back and letting people know thank you very much. All right, Chris S. Primetime Fanfare with Barry. Love it. Yep, I'm going to do it. Mega Mama. Thanks for all the info and laughs. You're the best. Have a great night. All prime time is a great time. Well, okay. You guys have pretty much have said it for me. What's this say? Thanks, Barry, for the info. We needed good news and numbers. Thank you. Tania, Barry, it's unbelievable that many people still believe the leftist insane lies and rhetoric. How people can still be this ignorant. They don't do any research. They don't look for themselves. You know, everything I tell you and what I show you, I'm like, go look this up. Go see what's going on. If you haven't, there's two profiles that you should follow on X. You should be looking at the Rapid Response 47. Amazing profile. And the other one is DOGE and Elon Musk. So you can see what's going on. Mom X3, I work for an extremely woke company for 6 years. I can't talk about Trump. The rainbow people and DEI can say whatever and do whatever they want, hoping to be able to leave in October. I feel for you. I really feel for you. Beverly Litton, think legacy media salaries will be connected to the CCP. Either that or you're going to, as we said, the pharmaceuticals. A lot of that money is coming from pharmaceutical ads. That's why RFK Jr. has said, if they cut that off, 75% of their revenue immediately goes out the window. It's gone. Judy, thank you very much. Just imagine that. Imagine 75% of your money just evaporating. Tom Cook, they are not going to have room for any newcomers in Gitmo. It will be overflowing with deep staters. Yeah, because a lot of these people are going to roll over on other people. And Marino, DEI didn't earn it, don't deserve it. It's very simple. Yep, I completely agree. Let me look up here. God bless America. Joy Reid in her rant about DEI was basically saying all black hires are DEI. I found that insulting to all black people. It is. But let them keep talking about it because that's all they got. That's it. Hello, I'm here. Is this why Karen Bass went to Guana? Good question. Karen Bass, the mayor of Los Angeles, who was over there in Africa. As a government employee, yes, my contract says I can be drug tested at any time and be fired for drugs. Whoa. Bingo. Oh, no wonder they were saying that could be it right there. Police 45. The world isn't big enough to see all of them up. God bless America. Again, I'm all for the media going to jail for lying to America. In order to sway the vote, it's fine, it's truth, but to lie and manipulate, it's going to be hard to prove an opinion, but I see what you mean. Beverly Litton, I wouldn't send the Colombians back, they'll just come back. We just want to lock them up then. Miss Pug's mom, Vivek said it. This was a 1776 moment. I completely agree that that's what we're looking at. In fact, I was talking to Robin about that this morning. I'm like, and I think I posted this. This feels like the Second American Revolution. It was, and then one of the things I said to Robin this morning is like, at least it was just England, the English Empire the British Empire that was stealing the money and wanting it from Americans. Here, they're taking it and giving it to all kinds of different people, taking your money, and then tax you more to give away more. Let's go hog wild, as Rush Limbaugh said. We're going to leave at least one liberal on each college campus as a reminder that we don't need their ideas or opinions. I love that. I used to love listening to Rush. Dave the Patriot, ROFL Barry, shift's not built for jail. Come on, man. Could you ever see him in jail? Could you ever see Mitch McConnell in jail? Zeta Pal, maybe the bishop was sending condoms to Gaza. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. You have to wonder, how many times did they do that? before it got caught, how many times did they send $45 million for, condoms to Gaza? Sherry Clem, Trump is peeling the onion layer by layer. Corrupt leftist tears are flowing uncontrollably. And I'm telling you, it is now 7:43. I don't know what's been posted or anything that's been done. I've been going for 2 hours and 45 minutes. And undoubtedly, but when I sign off, I'm like, man, it just keeps coming. It just keeps coming. At least it'll make for good show stuff tomorrow. Dave the Patriot, if enough crimes are being found, at what point does Trump raise the DEFCON level? Remember, Obama misplaced $3 trillion. I don't know. Like I said, it's been 11 days. And most of what we're probably seeing, he already knew, but now he's getting confirmation. Hoosier, Barry just sent your podcast to all my close contacts, advising them to use your site for evening news. Well, thank you very, very much. And again, I don't say anything for the most part that I can't show you and that you can't look up yourself. It sucks to me that people don't that when I posted that CNN part at the beginning, I was appalled. The man gave you his message, and they edited it. Didn't want anyone to hear it. Carmen Flores, great show today. Barry calculated this: 36 trillion divided by 300 million is 20,000 per person per year that the government has stolen for us, and we still have. And that's without the interest. Mr. Moreno, I'm so pissed. I see red. Freaking! I told you it was going to tick you off. I told you. There's still more to come, guaranteed. Once they start digging even more. How did that guy used to be the president of the Obama Federation or Foundation? I just this is so incestuous. Steven Sturgeon, Chuck Schumer is worth $81 million. How? That's what I'm saying. How? How are these people who obviously have no skills? There's nothing they can do. Have this kind of money. Robert Husband, when we buy, the dollar gets taxed, though every heart it goes through. No wonder they don't care about planes and tanks left behind. Yeah, they just make some more and charge us for it. Beverly Litton, so who's the godfather of all this? I don't think it's Obama. I think there's somebody above Obama. I think Obama is just a pawn as well. I think it really is some sort of cabal. If DOGE could reverse the payments back to the U.S., DOGE wouldn't have the power to do that. They can't reach into other people's bank accounts. All DOGE is going to do is identify problems. Then Scott Bessent, who is the Treasury Secretary, he's going to have to figure out what he wants to do and how he wants to do it. DOGE doesn't have, they're an outside agency. They're looking and they're giving information. America Ramirez, the only need to follow the money. Many people are changing their Pampers right now. Indeed. Lots of pamper changing. Vanessa Dominic, Dems used to win because all Fed staff vote. Yeah, things are going to get kind of crazy. That's why I was saying pray. We're going to need to pray because a lot of people need to open their eyes. People may not want to, but you got to open your eyes. And the fact that the media doesn't want to talk about it, that's what leads me to believe they're complicit. Steven Sturgeon, better employ more and more Secret Service for all of Trump nominees. Yep, absolutely. Dave the Patriot, imagine 40 new Democrat Senate seats, 20 new Republican seats in just the Senate. Would love to see that be taken. You imagine if Trump got a supermajority? 1776 Viking, thank you. Very so excited to see us come back with a force. Keep up the great reporting of the real truth. We're taking our country back. Yeah, if I can figure out what's going on with these planes, I'd love to let you know. But I've heard some crazy stuff. I am Planet Hermit. DOGE is going to knock the covenant bonds off these fools. Believe it or not, that's that 6-pound Maltese out there making that noise. Donna, we're yelling Mnuchin, Powell involved in all this. I don't know how long that guy's been in power, the Nigerian, and the other guy's career. So who knows? Who knows who knew that every invoice was always paid? It's one of those things. That's just how we've always done it. Hey, Tommy. Barry, 2 questions. Is Wally a citizen? I'm not sure. Did you say money to fraudulent? I didn't say treasonous. I did say fraudulent and terrorists. Yes, they didn't care whether they were known to be fraudulent or known to be terrorists. They just sent the money. Oh no, Mom, make no mistake. Obama behind the scene was influencing spending. Bondi and cash can't get here soon enough. Born on the 4th. This is worse than the crime syndicate. At least they didn't lie. This includes the news and rip off 350 million American people. Yeah. Hey, Mary, thank you very much. Awesome information, Barry. Thanks for keeping us informed. Thank you very, very much. Police 45, FBI can freeze assets. I hope DOGE is not going to be able to reverse payments. They don't have that authority. They're not law enforcement. Treasury can. Treasury, Scott Bessent definitely has that power, no doubt. And that's who they're reporting to. So, yeah, he definitely can. Let's see, where are we? Beverly says, don't forget Hillary. Yeah, who knows what kind of money went that way. Steve Bankowski, Barry, indeed, Trump is not playing. Won't surprise me if he has photos of the cartel kingpins' houses and he's fueling the F-16s. We could wake up tomorrow, or maybe even tonight, and find out that they did something stupid at the border. God help them. That's all I can say. They're not a country. They're not sovereign. Mexico can't help you. Mexico cannot help these people. They're operating in that country, but Mexico can't defend them. Stephen Sterjo once confirmed Bondi, Cash, Tulsi, and RFK Jr. needed Secret Service protection. I think they may have Secret Service protection now. When I was watching the hearing, there was some really, really big dudes behind Tulsi Gabbard. Brad Crane stopped payment on the condom guys. We need lawyers. Yeah, at this point, he stopped everything. Beverly Litton concerned that at the swamp jailed DT for not following Constitution. Nope, can't do it. They can't touch him at this point. That's what the problem. Ernest Spencer, the boys, gals in D.C. make the mafia look like rookies. Not even Al Capone could think up rackets like this. No, and the reason why Al Capone couldn't think up a racket like this is because he didn't control this kind of money. Your tax dollars, my tax dollars, and we don't even know how far back it goes. How much? They said trillions went through this guy's office. Can't even fathom that. Jan. Karma. Coders taking down the deep state after Biden tells out-of-work miners to learn to code. And they're in there working 24/7, so they're hungry for this. Antonio Salgado, when fireworks come into the State of the Union, that would be the best part, to just lock them all up in there. They all come in for the... And, look at my fellow Americans. Some of you aren't going home. That would be the great first line. Hope you had dinner, because some of you aren't going home. Trump should order for MSNBC to make this news. Oh, boy. Ricardo, great show. Thank you very much, Ricardo. Thank you very much. D. Ladd, now I can tell everyone I know. Thanks for digging. Yep. That one thing, that they were just paying money to people, didn't care if they were terrorists, it didn't care if they knew they were fraudulent. They never turned down an invoice. I don't care if you take anything else from tonight. Just let that sit and dwell in your mind. Every single thing that came across their desk, they paid. Didn't matter. They had no authority or didn't want to stop any single payment. That's incredible. The Marinos, I'm serious. I need my money back. I want to retire. Yeah. Fred Knapp, thanks, Barry, for keeping us informed. Hope to meet up with you in Boca. Okay, that'd be very nice. Come on down. And when you think about that, and you know you're not going to see it on the news, that should also make you, hey, why are you guys not reporting this? It's a huge story. They were giving your money, because you pay taxes too, Rachel. You didn't care? You don't care that they paid known fraudulent companies or individuals and known, you don't care? Wow. There's only one way you wouldn't care. You were complicit. If I saw somebody breaking into my neighbor's house and taking their stuff and driving on, I may not have anything to do with that neighbor, but I would call the cops and say, hey, listen, these guys in this red Toyota stole their television. And you're just, because you've been told, you've been warned, dude, shut up. You're bought and paid for. That's the problem. That's a really big problem. Where's Kim? I lost Kim. Where did Kim go? Hold on, let me find Kim. Kim must be on the next page. Yep. Hold on. Is she up here? I lost it. Hold on. Let me find out. I had Kim on the screen. Well, I can read it. The deep state is going down like the Titanic. Yeah. With no whistle. with no whistle whatsoever. Oh gosh, that's too funny. Janine Horton, sorry Ashley, you were included. Thank you too. Thank you. Thank you, Barry Rob. Oh, she did it twice. Thank you, Barry Robin and mods. You are the best. In case you guys have been wondering, SV has been on vacation. He's down here in Daytona. I guess he plays pickleball, so he's been up there. Transparency, the Marino says, transparency is exhilarating, love winning. Yeah, it is very much exhilarating. Beverly says, can Congress or some wacko judges that say the evidence can't be used, there are no warrants giving permission to investigate? You don't need a warrant. Trump is the boss of the government. But why do I need a warrant? If you owned a company or you're running a company and you were the accountant, you don't need a warrant to run through the account. Mr. Reno, I've worked over 50 years. I need a refund. Yeah, makes sense, because we're finding out they took so much. Police 45. I'm sure that Elon and his team know who they gave the money to. Yeah, I'm sure it's not a one-sided information trail. They just can't say. Barry Singh reports of UN soldiers, blue hats, boots on the ground. Any truth to it? I haven't heard that. Boots on the ground where? I'm sure Trump wouldn't allow that here. Johnny Krigner, thank you very much. Judy Tricon, it's time for righteous justice. Turn loose the Kraken. We are the Kraken. See, that's just it. We outnumber all of them. We just need to get the information out to people and let people know. Because when you say stuff to people, they may not believe it. Like, well, look right here. It's right here. That's what they hate. That's why they don't want us talking. That's why, they try to censor me. That's why they don't want Elon having X. All of it. Dave the Patriot. 10K missing from any mob, and somebody's getting to push a button. Yeah, and we're talking lots of money. This kind of money that people do disappear for. Hey, Joy, we should be able to find out more who they sent it to when they start screaming, where's my money? Or you're going to see certain people or countries flipping around. Yeah, It's coming. I'm pretty sure it's coming. I'm here for it. I can't wait to see it. You know it's coming, right? These people are going to start dropping dime on everybody. Just push the button because we just keep waiting. Talmadge Coates, Barry, your UPAD, you are the dude. Been waiting on exposure of these crooks and dirty political for 4 years. Loving your pod. Thank you very, very much. And again, follow this stuff because I may not see it. I may be doing something with Robin. At least you can tell me. $4 billion a day by this weekend. That's $48 billion so far. I'm guessing what is coming next is no more income tax. I hope so. I think we all put it this way: if Trump gets no income tax put through, they'll never win again. Mega Mama Lock loaded and winning. Thanks for always explaining everything. This family is the best. Thank you very much. David Cummings, $4 billion a day equals 1.5 trillion a year. That's what so you heard the billionaires talking in the round table. They said 2 trillion. I think we can do 2 trillion. Wow. Can you even imagine? Can you imagine if they're able to pull 2 trillion out of show them, Party Dog says, show them that picture and ask, is this your house? Are those your ghosts? If I push this button, it all goes away, right? Yeah. I just keep thinking of the movie. I used to watch so many movies. Clear and Present Danger. 2 words, Reaper drones. Your move. I'm going to have to look that up. A Reaper drone. Thank you. Okay. Crete 1, thank you. I've never, I don't know what a Reaper drone is. Lori Glazebook watching from New Zealand. Oh, wow. Thank you very much. Party Dog. Barry, let's call it the FAFO administration of the MAGA years. Oh, boy. That's a good one. I like that. Kim Hansen, finally our president we can be proud of. I don't know how you can't be proud of this. This kind of corruption being exposed, and you're worried about DEI? Something's wrong. You're the best, Barry. Thank you for all your dedicated time for MAGA. Thank you very, very much for watching, especially on a Saturday night when you could have much better things to do. The righteous will prevail. You're right, Papa. And Antonio Sagata, congratulations, my son-in-law, made lieutenant yesterday for Murrieta Police Department in California. Well, let me give you some of this. That's awesome. What's this? Somebody tweeted to Rob, I purchased the super chat so I could ask Barry what he thinks. Haven't heard anything about going after the airlines that participated in flying in the newcomers. Well, it's possible that they are. Now, why are they not going after these airlines? Because where do you think that rests in terms of priority? That's like saying, should I go after the people who created bongs for people to do the different things? Or should I go after the people who sold the cameras to the people who did the bad things to the kids? I'll get there. Especially if I can prove that they knew what they were doing, which they probably did. But right now I want to get to the people who were shipping these people around. So I hope that answers your question. UN Blue Hats are in Indiana. I'll look that up. I will look that up. Tommy says, I meant fraud and terrorists. Yeah, would terrorists be... If you know that something or some organization is indeed a terrorist and you were shipping them money, I would think that qualifies. I think that would check the box. I think that would... Thank you, Tommy. I think that would check the box. If all payments were reversed for all the years, I don't know. I don't know what kind of power that would take, assuming the money's still in the account that it was sent to. If it's gone, which it probably is, because I'm sure if you sent money to BLM, it's not sitting in their account. Beverly Linton, consider bigger dogs and more of it. Let's see here. Why can't I post you a message? I'm not sure. I see this one, so I'm not sure. Maybe one of the mods can help you. Go back to the bushes. Remember Senior's funeral and the notes. Why do you think Junior is so chummy with the left? Yeah, I remember that. That was kind of wild. Do you think Congress will come together and impeach and convict Trump? No. Nope. Not a chance. Not a chance. R. Heath, in the beginning clip, The reporter was quoting Hegseth, not Trump. I'm no friend. Nope. If you go back, she was reading and she was talking about the Truth Social post. She was specifically talking about the Truth Social post that she did not, she misquoted Trump. Go watched it 4 or 5 times. Go back and check that out. Red Robin, I'm not sure what happened, but let me just say thank you for whatever you put in the super chat. And I apologize that YouTube is doing something on their end. It's nothing that we're doing. So I apologize for them. I do see this one right here came through, and I thank you very much for it, but I don't know about the previous ones, but I thank you. And Beth or nobody else is going to be able to figure it out. It's on YouTube's end. DEI, if a black, red, white, green man is applying for a job as a pilot, they all have 100 score in a test job, and the company has to hire a transformer that made a 38. Yeah, that's some crazy stuff there. That's some crazy stuff there. Let's see, Beverly says Mark Levin needs to know all this. Yeah, I think a lot of people need to know what the heck has been happening. That's for sure. All right, got to the end there. About to run to dinner with Robin, and then I'll see you guys tomorrow, probably about the same time. We'll have to see what transpires throughout the day. Congratulations to the hoodie winners. Congratulations to everybody who gave us a super chat. There's 2 that came in late here. Hold on. Maria says the lockout looks familiar. It's the famous payback scene from Ghost. Oh yeah, that's right. You're right. I remember that scene. He couldn't get in it because he couldn't get the mob's money out. God bless America. So Klaus Schwab was in Indiana 2 days ago, and now the UN is there. That's very interesting. That's very interesting. All right, everybody. Have a great Saturday night. I'll look into that UN stuff and see what I can find. Thank you all for tuning in. Let me just check and see if anything else happened that I should probably go over. Nope, we're good. And I thank you guys all for tuning in on a Saturday night. Talk to you tomorrow.